gentlemen, welcome in tonight for our second game of the day. I am Bickle, once again joined by Romeo. Romeo, I thought I saw the last of you earlier today, but apparently I just can't get away from your lovely face.
Nah, I am back and ready to call the action as another undefeated team tries to defend their streak, only this time it's Never Lucky taking on Orbit Gaming Quasar.
Absolutely never lucky, coming in 6-0, undefeated. As you mentioned, Orbit Gaming, meanwhile, 4-4, dead even at the moment. Never lucky, though, will be running with a sub mid laner, I believe, and that means they will be losing some bans here come to draft. So we'll have to see how that plays out. But speaking of draft, we are about to head into draft for game number one. And before anybody asks, yes, draft lull is still down. So we're back
Oh,
to good old pro drafts.
it went down, what, midway through last stream? And
Yep.
only this time, instead of us strictly calling it audio and writing it out in chat, our producer for this stream, Lucan, has taken some time to actually make a beautiful overlay for it with the 5 minutes he had before stream when we realized it was still down. So, at least you'll be able to see the picks and bans on stream for once, which is going to be nice.
Absolutely. It'll be exciting to see exactly what these guys decide to go into as we head into game number one of the night. We're going to have Never Lucky on the blue side, Orbit Gaming Quasar on the red side.
All right, and it's looking like the pick and ban stage just started. I got a question for you right now. What do you think we're looking to see out of these two teams in this first game?
Well, I don't think we're going to see much from Never Lucky at the moment, as they don't have bans to start. But from Orbit Gaming, it'll be a lot more interesting. Are both teams losing bans? Because I just see blue and red squares at the moment.
So far, Riven's been banned away by Orbit, and I think Never Lucky just banned ASOL since they're already taken out, and it's now just banning champions that aren't going to be picked like Yumi.
Oh, I see. The name's coming up, not the picture. Yeah, so we have Aurelion Sol and Yumi banned away by Never Lucky, aka throwaway bans, because ASOL is currently banned and Yumi is trash. But Orbit Gaming taking away the Riven, the Brand, and the Diana, whereas Shaco, also a throwaway ban, I believe. We're heading into the actual pick phase right now. I'd expect to see some of those tank junglers, like the Maokai, like the Sejuani, be high prio, as those have always been what you look for in a strong jungle pick at the moment.
What I think is really interesting right now, though, with the way this is going, the 6-0 team being handicapped, right, is instead of banning, now they have the opportunity to just try to pick away some picks you don't want Orbit Gaming to have. Meanwhile, Orbit Gaming kind of get to go into this match with a full team comp in mind and no bans, really able to break out whatever team comp they choose to have. So
absolutely. And opening up the draft, Never Lucky going to pick up the B1 Seraphine, flexible between that mid and support. And the response, an early Rel from Orbit Gaming.
That is quite an interesting response. Something you don't see on the Rift all that too often. Especially when the Rel gets dragged against Seraphine. I'm pretty sure the win rate's there, and we're going to see the Samira picked up next to it appears. A very aggressive bot lane from Orbit Gaming.
That is a kill lane and a half. The second Rel goes in with that crash down, Samira can just dash in and get her passive all stacked up. Even before 6, they're going to have so much kill threat in that bot lane with the guaranteed CC out of the Rel.
And we're waiting to see the response here. I expect ADC and a jungler to be picked up here, although we're looking like we're going to be seeing the Seraphine Seta combo come out. That is a hardcore scaling bot lane, where if they can even just go even with Samira and Rel, they'll be winning, for sure.
They're basically saying, you can try and kill us, but we're going to stay as far back as possible, farm as much as we can, and still scale the hell out of this game, so that no matter what, we're going to be more useful than you come team fights.
I think that means when Orbit Gaming goes to draft a jungler, though, we're going to be seeing something that's able to help their bot lane tower dive. I think it's almost crucial you punish Seraphine Senna in lane if they're playing far behind their tower. So I would expect to see something very aggressive.
We have a pirate for Never Lucky. As Gangplank is coming into the top lane with Vi being the response jungler for Orbit Gaming.
I think Vi's exactly what you do need here. I think it's very clear that Orbit Gaming's going to be playing those three strong. I'm curious to see what they're going to draft topside into GP. I imagine it's got to be a little bit of a weaker pick, maybe something to scale alongside GP, rather than try to take him out, because I think that Vi's going to be heavily focused on the Samira Rel.
Absolutely. Samira Rel really going to be the pressure of that strong side lane. You're going to want something that's weaker side and can just go to late game, scale up as well. I'd honestly expect someone like an Ornn to come in for some good engaged topside, but junglers being banned at the moment, Amumu and Rek'Sai currently taken off the table.
Yeah, I think Orange good. Of course, they're gonna just try to ban out any jungler that might stop Vi and anything she wants to do, or get a lot of pressure on Samira. Of course, Amumu notoriously good at stopping Samira. The second she goes to ult, you throw a crew. Shyvana is an interesting ban to go with, though.
Very much so. Very odd ban. And I'm just realizing the Rek'Sai wasn't even a jungle ban. They have lost all of these bans, so all 5 just off the table at the moment. So Rek'Sai Teemo, ignore that. The Amumu Shyvana are targeted at Gymnastics on Never Lucky heading into that jungle pool. Whereas Orbit Gaming right now going to be locking in likely either their mid or top here. It's going to be a Jace hover. The question is if it is a Jace lock that is flexible nowadays. We have seen Jace mid become quite a prevalent pick, but also could be that response pick up topside to the Gangplank.
Yeah, I think Jace is a very strong pickup here, especially because it plays very well in the GP. He's able to just play safe as well with how much range he has if needed, if they're not going to go out of Vi ganks. And also, if there's something that goes better into the mid lane, you can take Jace into the mid lane and draft a different top lane, or maybe something more team fight oriented. Wow, that's a tough pickup in the jungle, though.
Karim coming in. The Headless Horseman himself has made his way to the Rift. Paired up with that Seraphine Senna, he's going to be looking to get some hard engages in there, and that just brings some good team fight potential to the side of Never Lucky with their already insane late game scaling of the Seraphine Senna GP.
You know, I don't know if I like the Hecarim pickup, though, considering there's already a Vi on the table. I feel like that makes the game very, very difficult for Gymnastics.
Rumble, going to be our final pickup of this draft.
That also could be mid or top. I think they're literally just going to choose whether they'd rather see the Rumble into Jace or the Rumble into whatever the mid laner is and then send GP to the other lane. Realistically, both we've seen GP mid and we've seen Rumble mid and we've seen both them top as well. So really they're saying, who do we feel like can match the Syndra better, whether it's GP or Rumble? I'd imagine we're going to see the Rumble mid, but it's very possible to go either way.
Definitely. The Syndra, the final pickup for Orbit Gaming, they needed a bit of AP in their draft. Syndra is going to be what rounds it out for them, bringing a good burst mage to the side. But you look at what Never Lucky has, their draft screams one thing and one thing alone. We scale for late game.
Oh god, yeah, that is a lot of scaling. It is literally on Gymnastics to keep the game going as long as possible until we start seeing the level 6s brought out. And once GP hits level 13, is able to start helping out, Senna starts getting her souls right. But one thing to note is, of course, GP and Senna both have global ultimates to try to impact the other side of the map. So if something's going on top side, you send a Senna ultimate, she gets the shield, does a little bit of damage to whether it's Jace or probably Jace top, right? You can also reflect that as well. If Vi's going for a tower dive bot side, the GP ultimate comes out, you encore and Senna ult at the same time, which we've seen Never Lucky do in previous games in this league alone. So I think although they have a scaling comp, there's still a lot they can do to help each other from across the map. And then, of course, the Headless Horseman is just one of the fastest champions of the game. I imagine we're going to be seeing a blue smite brought out, and he's going to be running from lane to lane to try to make sure nobody dies until they scale.
Absolutely. Scaling is the name of what Never Lucky wants to do. Orbit Gaming in particular, with that Samira Rel alongside that Vi, and honestly the Jace as well. All champs that really want to flourish early. Vi looking to get those lanes ahead fast and help scale them and help shut down the scaling that Never Lucky brings to the game.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's really on Vi to be making a lot of the impact in these lanes and trying to facilitate a lot of tower diving, because that looks like pretty well what Orbit Gaming's going to be in the game to do, right? It's hard to tower dive when it's even, but once the Vi gets involved, I think that's where a lot of the impact is going to show. Aside from the Rumble lanes, definitely Rumble's a champion who can fight, especially if it's in... like, if they pair him against the Jace, I think would be the ideal thing for Never Lucky. And right now, we can see that Rumble is going into the top lane for Never Lucky against that Jace. So I think that's probably the lane that's going to have the biggest impact on Never Lucky in the early game. Meanwhile, GP, Senna, and Seraphine, I mean, what do you do besides sit under a tower and try to get some gold, right?
Absolutely. You just throw barrel after barrel out there trying to scale up and get as many silver doubloons as you can to scale up. That's really what the mid lane Gangplank's going to be looking to do, especially against this Syndra. Has the oranges to just escape any scat of the weak stuns.
I
And
really
just that late game.
I really just like to imagine Melly G sitting in the mid lane trying to sing some sea shanties to his mic on comms while he's collecting his doubloons. Start singing the Wellerman while him and Syndra are just passively farming.
Just dodging all the spears that Syndra's throwing at him.
His entire team dies. He starts singing Bones in the Ocean over comms.
That would be... Those are the comms I absolutely want to listen to.
Gymnastic goes a little bit too deep. Tower diving the Syndra. Leave her, Johnny, leave her.
Absolutely. But looking at what these comps bring to the table, I gotta ask you, Romeo, who do you favor given this?
Oh god, I mean, are you asking me strictly on comps alone, or are you asking me including the two teams we're watching?
Bit of both.
If we're going strictly off comps, I think 100% Orbit Gaming should win this. It's about execution, right? If they can get ahead, they should win the game, no problem. By the 15-minute mark, if they're not ahead, it's over. And usually, I like to favor teams where it's more skill-based rather than playing for mistakes. I think Orbit Gaming's comp is a lot more skill-based because they're driving the narrative in this game, right? It's all about them getting as far ahead as they can before Senna comes online, before GP comes online, stacking those Drakes, getting those Heralds, picking apart the map like we've seen earlier today in the first matches that happened at 3, right? We just seen a slow dismantle of the enemy team. Whereas in this game, you want that to happen if you're rooting for Orbit Gaming. However, I've seen Never Lucky execute the Seraphine, Senna, and GP so many times to such perfection that it's hard for me to say they're going to lose. The Senna-Seraphine combo has been absolutely dominant for Never Lucky, and because of that, I kind of put the favor onto Never Lucky's side. So comp-wise, I think Orbit Gaming kind of won from, like, a draft analysis perspective, but if I'm putting the teams and the way they play into perspective, I'm definitely giving it to Never Lucky.
I think I am right there with you in terms of comp and team execution-wise. I do favor, based on who Never Lucky is, what they've shown us, I think they are the favorites right now to take game number 1. But we are heading into our spectator delay, so while we get that all sorted out and get synced up, we will be right back with game number 1 of Never Lucky taking on Orbit Gaming after our spectator delay. ladies and gentlemen, welcome in to game number 1 of Never Lucky, taking on Orbit Gaming Quasar. We are already seeing some fun little action to start the game. We see the Scale Squad of Never Lucky taking on the Murder Squad of Orbit Gaming.
And of course, First Strike Syndra. Now that early surrenders 4 votes instead of 5, I mean, like,
Got this in the bank. I mean, look at this. 2 first strikes versus no first strikes. Oh, look at that money. Look at that money pour in. That's 5 gold right there.
another 5 gold. They got 10 gold over Never Lucky. I mean, that's big. Undefeated team might be suffering their first defeat at a gold differential. But right now,
something to consider. Never Lucky does have the pirate who literally just prints money.
Also, something to consider. Both junglers started without a leash. And Vi's electing to do a 3-camp gank into bot. We're already seeing that early pressure. And it looks like Gymnastics isn't going to contest it. I don't even think they know about it, to be completely honest with you. They don't have Ward seeing the Raptors or the buff, so they can't tell that she's already down at the blue side. And considering Senna, Seraphine both haven't thrown a Ward into any of those bushes, they might just be expecting your standard 6-camp. Oh my god, 6-camp clear. I cannot speak right now.
Absolutely. This is really where you're going to look to see the side of Orbit Gaming get their advantages. You want to see this kill lane be able to get, well, these kills. Look for Zachology and Nulled and Voided to try and get these early kills, especially off the Rel crash down into the Attract Repel. That's where you're going to see a lot of this action happening. And really, this is where the action needs to happen. With the fact that Bond the Quad is in this area, they need to make something happen.
And it looks like they're going to. Vi is stirring up right behind them in that tri-bush. Nothing noticed yet, but the thing is, if something doesn't happen soon, Hector's going to full clear it. She will only have 3 camps.
There's the flash into the crash down, flash out of the way by Nerf Swain. There is the knockback off of the Vault Breaker, and that's a first blood going over to the side of Orbit Gaming. It does, however, go over to Zachology.
Now, that's not great, if we're being completely honest. Yeah, I mean, like, you're going to prevent a little bit of XP from going to Seraphine, and of course, gold is gold, right? But we see here Rel picking up the kill. She's not really going to do anything with it, and I mean, you wasted a little bit of summoners there. We lose Rel Flash. I mean, they also burnt Senna Flash, so I wouldn't be surprised if we see a repeat gank in the near future, but I think it's very clear that the wards are going to be brought out by this bot lane.
Absolutely. Zachology's really going to be trying to punish Nerf Swain now that that flash is gone. Anytime they can get the crash down or the mount up, they're going to be looking to punish Nerf Swain.
Yeah, I think they absolutely have to, don't they? Especially considering Rel got that first kill. I imagine even out of base, we could see Vi run straight back down there, go for another gank. Sarah Seraphine able to push just because they have the range advantage over Samira, and as long as Samira can't dash to them, they're going to be living life.
Yep, nothing really gotten there. Gets the root off of that last embrace. Going to get some good damage onto Zachology. And really, Red Panda just stepping up and chunking right now.
There's a lot of poke damage going on, but correct me if I'm wrong, I believe Red Panda just missed a cannon minion.
I think he did, but don't worry. Nobody saw anything, Panda. Nobody saw anything.
I mean, now, dying, losing a wave, and then missing cannon minions gotta hurt, but here in the top lane, a little bit of a trade.
Absolutely. And something to note, get off my doink on this Rumble, running with the Ignite over the TP. So looking for this more lane-dominant kill threat, as he does not have that TP to rejoin lane, as opposed to Moose and Juice, who is running that TP.
Yeah, a little bit more team fight oriented from the side of Orbit. Well, I mean, in fairness, the team fight side of Never Lucky looks to be quite strong. However, they have to have Doink rotate when they're going to be contesting objectives late game, and they can't rely on the TP to push a wave. They have to decide, are we 4v5ing the objective, or is Doink going over way before someone with TP would have to?
And right now, the fact that one dragon is coming up and is on the board, you have to imagine Orbit Gaming is going to be looking at this as Never Lucky. With this comp, has basically said, we're going to forfeit every early objective and just scale.
Yeah, and it's an Inferno Dragon, which is a big first dragon on the board. I mean, like, when you're talking about good early game dragons, I think the main ones you cite are Inferno Dragon and Ocean Dragon, right? Of course, Ocean Dragon gives you a lot of sustain in lane, and Inferno Dragon means that when you're trading, these short trades usually favor your side with the bonus damage, right? So that being the first dragon they get to pick up is pretty big.
Yep, and it looks like it's going to be uncontested at the moment. It's nobody rotating over from either side. It's just going to be Bond the Quad picking this up.
That's taking a lot of time, though, from Bond the Quad, right? We see Hecarim's already level 5 with that Dirk, been able to invade her jungle once, full clear twice, and although he hasn't made an impact on the map yet, that CS lead is starting to show.
Absolutely, up 20 CS because of Vi's early ganks. Bond the Quad, instead of going for the full clears, was active down towards the spot side. Did take the objective. Now, I do have to ask you, what are your thoughts on Gymnastic here going for this serrated Dirk early, going for the lethality base? But that's the equalizer drop down to just chunk out Moose and Justice. And they actually forced the flash in exchange for the ignite up top side.
I think that was a really good play by Dunk, but you were asking me, what's my... Oh, wait a minute.
Ghost popped. Gymnastics has 6 here. Bond the Quad does not. Scatter the Weak, though, comes in, but there is that Cannon Barrage coming in, shorts the Onslaught of Shadows. Nobody going to fall in the end as Bond the Quad barely escapes with their life.
And you know, that was the play you're looking for Hecarim. You've been spending all this time
Flash crash down,
oh my god.
barely catches the side of Nerf Swain. Going to get that stun off. The exhaust is there. No ignite available, though. It is not taken. And instead, Nerf Swain going to walk it out with Null and Void taking quite a chunk themselves.
And that's heal burnt. Flashes are being burnt. This is war on the Summer's Rift. And if you're asking me, that's not good for Neverlucky. You don't want all this fighting to be breaking out. That fight in mid lane was Gymnastics' chance to win with both their ults up where Vi didn't have it and they were able to get away. And now, I mean, I feel like Gymnastics... I guess Gymnastics doesn't necessarily need to do something, but I certainly think it would be nice for, like, Rumble on the side of Neverlucky to get a kill or to maybe peel some of this pressure off bot lane, because although they're fending off quite well, it's still showing to be increasingly difficult because one wrong footstep, 1 inch over the minion line, and your life is null and voided.
Absolutely. Red Panda and Nerf Swain do have those flashes available now, whereas Ecology does not, so only has the Hex Flash available. But it will be really interesting. Once these 6s come online for the bot side of Orbit Gaming, they're going to look to all in even harder.
Yeah, you can only imagine. But on the same token, once Panda gets their level 6, the Encore is able to be brought out. And with Nerf Swain having their 6, they're able to do cross-maps assault. Had that level 6 been up during that Hecarim fight against Vi probably would have been dead, if we're being completely honest. Now, a slip-up like that means they're able to get that final execute and the bonus added shield to stop themselves from dying from the extra damage when they do engages. So now's kind of the time for Gymnastic to make some plays, maybe some tower dives in the top lane, the mid lane, and have Nerf Swain use that ultimate to keep them alive, healthy, and get that final execute.
X-Flash coming in. Bond the Quad is already in. Flash is forced out of both sides. Big Encore comes in. Null and Void does break it up with that Blade War on the end, but a big 3-man charm is going to be enough to disengage, though that is both flashes off of the AD carry and support bot side. That is screaming, Vi, come gank me when you have ult again.
It's definitely a strong play from Bond the Quad. However, we got to keep in mind, Rift Herald is up, and Vi shows bot lane for that gank. That means Rift Herald should be going to the side of Neverlucky Gaming. So it's a trade to make. You need to make a play where you're going to get that double kill if you're going to be trading that early Herald. But I agree. She definitely needs to make something useful with those flashes now that they're down again.
Gymnastics heard you. He's out towards Herald, but he's not looking at the Herald. He's looking at Moose and Juice right now. He has that Onslaught of Shadows available. The Equalizer's already dropped. Auto's coming out of that cannon, and just not enough to take down Get Off My Doink as Gymnastics takes down Moose and Juice.
I have to be honest, the more I watch Get Off My Doink, the more impressed I get from his top laning. He's able to take trades so proficiently, and on top of that, once he burns the enemy top laner's flash, you can almost be sure he's calling for a tower dive from Gymnastics. Any game we see where Get Off My Doink is in the driver's seat, he is making it work. He's getting the damage and he's burning the flashes without the help of the jungler and then making sure they capitalize off it. Honestly, I would say both the top laners we've been seeing today, Velikaz and Get Off My Doink, right? I'm confident to say those are two of the strongest top laners in PXE.
Absolutely. They've been showing up phenomenally, each doing exactly what they need to do to help get their teams ahead, being a strong win condition. We saw that earlier, Top was able to lead to the advantage and the game in the end. We'll have to see if Get Off My Doink can make the same thing happen here.
But right now, we're seeing a pretty well deadlocked game. It's 100 gold difference between the two teams. Plus, we have an Inferno Dragon on one side, right? But if you're never lucky, you have to be very, very happy with the results of this match so far.
Absolutely, but it looks like we may have a fight in this Dragon Pit. Interrupts the Vault Breaker. Gymnastics is getting the autos across alongside those Rampages with the Cannon Barrage and the Dawning Shadow. Easy kill picked up by Gymnastics right there.
Yeah, and the Hecarim getting all that early farm is really, really starting to show. Sure. Oh,
Flash
wait a
Magnus
minute.
Flash down. There's the dash in with the Blade Whirl. Cleanse comes in and the Inferno triggers, ripping through. Nerf Swain already down. Red Panda left on his own. We see the mount up coming in. Gets the flip. Dash in off of that wild rush, and he will take down Red Panda, but the root off of that beat drop is enough to lock him down under tower. Red Panda gets the response on the Nulled and Voided.
That is a good trade back, but not necessarily what you want to see. And once again, it just shows you step up 1 inch too far, and just like that, you're gonna go down like you were hit by a car, right? That's 2 kills on to Samira. The bounty getting brought out since she was killed directly after getting the kills. The bounty is only brought out now. She's got Shield Bow, and she's going to be looking strong, as I imagine she's looking to get as much gold as she can and pick up that second item before laning phase ends.
Absolutely, but right now, gold is even, and if you're never lucky, you're okay with it. Onslaught of Shadows over the wall does not get the steal, though, and it looks like he's going to pay with his life there, locked down by the assault, by the cease and desist, I'm sorry. No longer assault and battery, because we can't say that.
But, I don't like that play. I really don't. I mean, you got a bounty on you. I'm all for stealing dragons unless you have a bounty. And I mean, when you have a bounty like that on you, having it thrown over to Syndra is not something you want to see. Like, I understand wanting to get the dragon, right? An early dragon helps you delay the game longer for your lanes to scale. But now, Syndra looks so much scarier.
Yep, Syndra getting some extra Splinters of Wrath up now. 2 stacks on the Dark Seal. Already finishes the Ludens. Going to be chunking out with these Dark Spheres. And
You know what,
G
too?
doing their best to just farm up at the moment with the barrels.
Oh, wait a minute.
Equalizer comes in top. Moose goes to the skies, knocks him away with that thundering blow. But look who's topside. It is Gymnastics with this with those Rampage Spirit of Dreads. They are going in, but Bon on the squad is here. Nerf Swain just trying to run for their lives. Tries to dodge back, cannot get out of the way though. Bon the quad takes down Nerf Swain, who is having a rough go around in this game.
Surprised we didn't see Red Panda commit the encore to trying to protect Nerf Swain. There does appear to be up, but they never really pulled it out there. I mean, I don't know if it would have made that much of a difference, but on the bright side, if you're never lucky, you're getting that top turret. It's going to be a lot of gold on the Hecarim and Get Off My Doink and really kind of just keep this game even. It feels like every time Orbit Gaming tries to pull away, Gymnastics and Doinks are responding.
Absolutely. Get on my Doink. Looking to get these autos off. Getting these Electro Harpoons off the stun. There's a big empowered Shock Blast, though. There's the flash in to try and get in distance. Does hit the Scat of the Week. That's going to be enough. The crash down goes wide, but the Vault Breaker locks up Get Off My Doink. Meanwhile, bot side, Samira caught by that encore. There is that last embrace onto the tower, but it's traded in the end 1-for-1. Nerf Swain goes too far under tower and falls to that dash in off the wild rush.
That being said, Seraphine and Samira just traded shutdowns. She got a big 150 gold shutdown off of Samira, and now it's placed onto her for the killing. And you have to imagine Bond the Quad is going to be looking to help Null and Voided pick that up. But 2 towers down for Orbit Gaming, and that's not something you really expect to see from the drafts of these two teams. You'd think the towers would be down and Orbit Gaming would be favoring the map pressure, but that's simply not the case.
Absolutely. The map pressure has just been going over to Never Lucky. And looking at things, now with that Moonstone online, Seraphine becomes such a stronger threat in team fights.
Yeah, however, speaking of stronger threats, Nate Striker's already at 70 Splinters of Wrath, really quickly approaching that 100 mark.
Absolutely, that 100 mark where he does get the upgrade to the Unleash power, where it gets an Execute, because who doesn't love a gameplay button being able to delete you even easier?
Is that not why we play League of Legends? I like being under 20% HP and
Speaking
dying.
of gameplay button,
See? Under
gameplay.
20% HP? One shot? It's kind of fun. It's fun to watch, at least. And that
Absolutely.
Dark Seal on Nate Striker is starting to
Dash
stack.
in with the Wild Rush. They're on to Melee G. Force the flash away, and it looks like Melee G's just going to run away. Scatter the weak mid lane, goes wide. Nothing to come in there. Looks like get off by Doink, trying to rotate into mid. Maybe looking to get a pick, but it looks like reinforcements have arrived mid. They are looking at Red Panda, and they are hungry. They want to make him extinct. Scatter the Weak does land. There's the land off the Force of Will, and the burn comes in. Syndra is on fire. Nate Striker ripping through Never Lucky, putting this bot lane to rest.
And at this point, you kind of got to think, could this be the first blemish on Never Lucky's record?
It's looking like it right now.
The gold is still very even, but they're up 2 dragons, the 3rd dragon spawning, and despite their mid tower,
scatter lands, chunks out Nerf Swain and Get My Doink, who gets shattered by that shock blast, and they are chunked out with this dragon spawning in 30 seconds, and that's river control.
River control is firmly on their side, and that's something you kind of want. It's very hard for Never Lucky to walk into you, isn't it? I mean, I think the only way they really contest this dragon is with a really good wombo combo from maybe Seraphine Gymnastics.
He has no TP.
He doesn't have TP, and maybe that TP's going to bite them. They're still looking to posture up, but this dragon's going to go down quick.
Ripping apart. Bon on the squad rooted down by the last embrace. They are chunking them out a little bit, but Get Off My Doink is going to be here to join the team in time, and this looks like it's going to be a big fight here. Shock Blasts are just ripping apart the side of Never Lucky. They're going to have to pull the trigger here. There goes the last embrace. Does land. The Cannon Barrage comes in. Big encore. Blocked by the Blade Whirl. There's the Magnet Storm in the back. And a massive rip apart in the middle of the Cannon Barrage. Here comes the Inferno trigger. Ripping apart the backline of Never Lucky. It's not going to be enough, though. And there goes Seraphine picking up some kills. But another scatter. Another Dark Sphere. Flashed away. 4-4. Just scatter flashed away from... Nate Striker is single-handedly carrying Orbit Gaming through that team fight.
My question here is, are we going to see the LCK strategy of once everyone respawns, we run straight back to that Mountain Drake and run it again? See what happens. Nate Striker is fed. They need to get back to that base and be ready for another fight because that is so much gold on them. They cannot afford to die and drop the 1,000 gold bounty to GP or Rumble. But what a fight we just witnessed. It looked so good for Never Lucky for a second there. They were deleting all of them, and Nate Striker said, fine, I'm going to hit you back that much harder.
Absolutely, and what really has to come to mind is Nulled and Voided. A beautiful Blade Whirl stops the Encore from getting a 4-man charm, instead just making sure only Zachology was locked down after he got his engage. But it looks like we're ready. Round 2, fight!
And the fight they will, but maybe not!
There goes the Onslaught of Shadows in the backline. Bon on the quad is gone, as is Zachology. Like you mentioned, Nate Striker not there. And with the fact that Moose and Juice is topside, this is going to be a free dragon going over to Never Lucky.
I mean, if we're going to be completely honest, that fight was inted for a couple of wards.
A little bit.
And topside, we didn't even see Moose and Juice come back. They just went top, committed to it. I think they were expecting to get a TP, and the second they noticed their bot lane playing very, very gun-ho for the wards, it was just kind of no longer worth it. I understand trying to clear vision, right? But once you take that first shot, see Rumble and Senna over that wall, it's kind of time to back off.
Very much so, and in all honesty, they were just a bit too over-aggressive there with the equalizer drop down and the fact that Never Lucky had the numbers. They were just able to clean up Zachology and Bon the quad, and there was just no more contest for the Dragon with the smite gone.
But once again, I think that just makes this game that much more even. But like we said in draft, an even game sides with Never Lucky. They are scaling a lot harder now. Of course, the scaler on Orbit Gaming is scaled. You can't argue it. Nate Striker 6-0. There's no way they don't have the execute. Yeah, they're at 101 splinters. They finally have the execute ready to go. If someone's under 15% HP, they're getting sent straight to the gray screen where they belong. And it's really protect Nate Striker, get null and voided the stacks, and then commit to it as a team.
Absolutely. Nate Striker now working towards that 120, the magical mark where they get even more AP with that Dark Seal firmly stacked up to its max, going to absolutely hit like a truck. And they have been landing these scatters like they're point and click.
Now, my question is, are they going to commit to the Maya Soul Stealer? It's definitely a ballsy move, but I think with the way Striker's playing, it may very well be worth it.
Definitely. When you're this far ahead and you're the Fed member of the team, I think you need to take this. You say, I'm putting the ball on my back. I'm going for it. I'm the man to carry. And what a day to carry it on Super Bowl Sunday. Shout out to Yanni, the big Eagles fan, cannot be here with us right now. He's cheering on his birds. Don't know how the game is going at the moment, but
Eagles
we
are
do
winning
know how
right
this
now, I
game is
believe.
going right now.
To my understanding, it's close, and the Eagles are winning, and I think you can say the same about Never Lucky and Orbit Gaming Quasar. It's very close, but it kind of feels like Orbit Gaming has a slight advantage at the moment. However, when you look at the gold charts, Never Lucky is still winning on gold. It's literally a dragon difference that separates these two teams and a little bit of map pressure, isn't it?
Absolutely. It's really close at the moment, and really anything can happen at the moment.
Now, of course, has been a kind of a sleeper on this game right now. He hasn't seemed like he's made that much of an impact, but when you look, he's 2-1-4. He's got the Navoris. He's got a lot of gold on his side, and honestly, it kind of feels like he's very, very close in Syndra when it comes to power.
Yeah, definitely. Things are so close right now. And with the fact that GP has been scaling up, getting this free gold, does have the 2-item power spike. Navori's now, of course, activating at 40% as opposed to 60%. That's what you love to see.
The thing is, I still feel like Orbit Gaming's on a time limit and they need to make a move before the time expires. I think that's always been a problem with teams going against Never Lucky. Never Lucky is very good at picking scaling comps and putting teams on a time limit, but nobody has been applying pressure. And if Orbit Gaming is to win this match, that pressure needs to be applied and soon.
Big scatter lands on a Nerf Swain. There's the execute, but a big ulti out of mid lane there. Nate Striker has to pop the stopwatch, and they do fall. Red Panda coming in clutch with the surround sound, keeping Nerf Swain above that execute threshold. Get up by Doink, flashing in with the flame spitter, trying to get the damage out. Melly G pops the barrels, going to disengage off it. That's 2 for nothing, and they're peeling off. This may be Baron.
That's 1,000 gold on a Doink, and they almost were able to pull back a kill, but on the quad, I mean, they missed a couple of the, I'm only remembering the old name here, a couple of the Vault Breakers, and because of that, Gymnastic gets to live free, and that's kind of a free Baron for Never Lucky if they can't steal it here.
Shock Blast, that's 497 in the end, does end up falling to Gymnastics. There was no smite available, though, so that was close.
That could have been close, but Bond the Quad opted not to commit to it. They charged the Q a little bit late. And that means when you look up, this game is broken open for Never Lucky. They have found their lead, and all they have to do now is run with it. Their comp is scaling, if not has scaled. Of course, the level 13 power spike has been long hit for Melly G. And when we go look at Nerf Swain, with 94 stacks of Absolution onto the Senna. That is a very, very well-scaled Senna. And we're looking
already chunking. And Dragon seems to be the next thing on the board for both teams here. And ultimates are available except for that Dawning Shadow across the board. This could be a big team fight here. Scout of the Week lands on a Melly G. Nothing to land, though, in the end. Barrels going wide.
Barrels are indeed going wide as they keep trying to posture for position of this Dragon. The thing is, you can only poke out Never Lucky so hard when they have Senna, Seraphine healing everyone right back to full.
Yep. Orbit Gaming pulling back through that choke, trying to get themselves prepared. See the fact that Never Lucky is split. Vault Breaker flash into the Magnet Storm, instantly onto 3. There's 1, 2, 3, instantly annihilated. They were split and they took advantage. Get Off My Doink is down. That is 4 of 5 members instantly eliminated by Never Lucky. And that Baron that you said broke open the game, already gone.
And that's worth saying too. It's going to put them on Soul Point, and just like that, Orbit Gaming has a win condition in their hands. If they can get through 5 minutes and get that Mountain Soul, the scaling of Never Lucky is that much more inhibited.
Yep, Bon on the quad and Zachology saw that they were split, saw that Never Lucky had gone for 3 below, 2 above, and they instantly pulled the trigger onto these double supports bot side and just popped them, eliminated them, and then turned their eyes to Melly G and Get Off My Doink, and were just able to eliminate the entire threat of Never Lucky before the fight even began.
It was an absolutely beautiful engage from Orbit Gaming. And just like that, they're once again convincingly a team that might be able to give Never Lucky their first ever game in the 0 section currently for what has been a relentless and perfect series from them this far, this split. Or sorry, a perfect split this so far. This could be the first series where they lose a game.
Very much so, and really, we've seen 2 teams so far. Well, we just saw earlier a team go perfect continuing into their 4th series. Never Lucky wants to keep that up. They still need to play that team later. They want to be saying that's a battle of the undefeated. Right now, with the track they're going, they're on track to lose their first game. Though I say that, they're still up in gold. What am I saying?
It's gold versus stats, though, here. Again, although 3 dragons, you don't really notice them when you're just looking at raw stats, right? They do provide a lot, and we're looking at what they have. There's 6% additional attack damage and ability power, plus 9 ability haste and 9% attack speed from the Hex Tech. Now, both
There's the To the Skies, Prowler's Claw in, trying to get the damage. Another one does land. Moose in Juice, solo kill onto Melly G.
Inferno Drake diff.
Yeah, Infernal Drake diff, Eclipse diff, all that diff. Big chunk off the scat of the week, and there's the execute that you mentioned. Nate Stryker pops him with the Unleash power.
Funny button diff.
Yeah. Point and click diff.
Point and click execute diff. Yeah, just like that, you're really seeing
Another scatter lands, and that's chunked. The Blade Whirl will stop all of that coming in, though, and Red Panda's got to run.
They are most certainly still in the driver's seat, and 2 minutes and a half to Mountain Drake. Never Lucky need to find it in them to pull it back, get that mid lane pressure, and find a way into that river as 5. They can't split. They learned in that last fight, they can't split. They need to get this dragon and prevent that soul in 2 minutes time.
Bye, Moose and Juice. Tries to knock him away with the hammer form, but not gonna be enough as Gymnastics and Nerf Swain are in the area. Senna just getting even more souls. And after that play I saw mid lane, I'd like to call a pause and ask the referee to check out Nate Stryker. I think he's got some aimbots going on with those scatters.
You want the aimbot police in here? I can call the otter police if you want.
Absolutely.
But my question is after that is, did Gymnastics have his tags? Because he just went moose hunting.
Absolutely. I think he needs a license for that.
2 crimes being committed, 1 on each side. We got aimbot and moose hunting? Without tags, maybe?
That's a big question. But this dragon up in 1:30. That is the next big thing to look at. Baron, of course, up on the map in 45 seconds. We'll see if any setup comes up around these, but more spikes coming in. 3-item Gangplank, 2.5-item Seraphine working towards that Seraphs. We see the Maw finish from Nerf Swain saying, I see this gameplay button. I'm not going to fall for it.
Realistically, though, is it the play to be this high on the map? Although we're both pressuring Baron on both sides, I don't see either team taking it within the 40 seconds it takes to get to that Mountain Soul. So this is really just a dance that we're going to see start at the Baron and probably find its way to ending at that Mountain Soul point fight, right? This is really just a dance to threaten an objective, whereas the real take is
again! And that's a flash force. There's a magnet storm with the crash down into the Terrac repel to instantly pop, diving in with the assault and battery, takes him down. That is 3 instantly popped off a scatter engage from Nate Stryker. And you mentioned the Baron not having time. I think Orbit Gaming disagrees with you, but that means GP is just gonna say, "Oh my God, the TP was interrupted. Baron interrupted Moose and Juice's TP bot side. That means Melly G is gonna keep shoving this bot side, working towards an inhibitor."
And he's gonna find it here. That's the inhibitor right before Mount Drake spawns. And now Jace has back. He's trying to stop Melly G, but it looks like they're looking to contest this Drake anyway.
Gymnastic goes in. Nate Stryker has to pop the stopwatch. There is the Onslaught of Shadows. Takes down Nate Stryker. That's a massive pick, but can he escape? Trying to run away. Vault Breaker, Flash catches him. Melly G's in the area trying to disengage. Prowler's Claw in, buying time from his jungler, telling him, "Save yourself. We need you for the jungle steal." He's running, tries to get the barrels. Big chunk of damage, but it's not going to be enough. Gymnastics, what are you doing? Caught by the Vault Breaker into the Assault and Battery, taken down by the Shock Blast of Moose and Juice. There goes the Blade Whirl in with the Flare, getting that down. Another Shock Blast takes them down. That's 2 additional down. Only 2 members of Never Lucky stand with this Mountain Soul now on the table for them.
You know what I think might be the saddest part of all? Oh my God! There is no way! There is no way that just happened! She just stole Mountain Drake with an encore! What?
Panda, the hero that Never Lucky needs, the encore steal, completely beats out Born to Quad, beats out the entirety of Orbit Gaming. Red Panda saving the Mountain Soul and saying, "Not now. You don't get these stats. Not without me still standing."
The game was looking so heavily in the favor of Orbit Gaming, and just like that, Red Panda has taken it from them. The game is going to continue, and just like that, I'd argue it's in the favor of Never Lucky. They are scaled. You know they're scaled. It's a 30-minute game that has GP, Seraphine, and Senna, and they stopped them from getting the Mountain Soul that was so heavily the win con of Orbit Gaming. They have that bot inhibitor. The Baron hasn't done anything. They have a minute left on it, and it's only on a couple of their members, and I don't think they're going to find anything with it.
Yeah, nothing going to be really gained from that Baron. Looking at the objectives, or more so the turrets, only 2 outer turrets have fallen.
I'm speechless.
You and me both. You and me both.
You know that's gotta hurt Orbit Gaming being so close. Yet now, so far, it's gonna take so much from them now to find a way to close out this game.
Mountain Soul was it. That was their ticket. That was their home run, sending them into the next game. But no, Red Panda takes a stand and says, "You shall not pass." And like Moses parts the seas with his encore, stealing the dragon, and keeps them alive for another 3 minutes, where that next fight is going to take off.
And where Syndra eventually stops stacking, Senna never does, as she just reached her 127th stack of Absolution. And I am absolutely sure this Senna is online, active, and ready to kill.
At this point, Nerf Swain's going to be hitting people from halfway across their screen. You're going to be saying, "Hey, you can't hit me." Scatterlands again? Nate Stryker, what are you using? Where can I buy it?
I mean, it might land, but Senna just shoots him and he's back to full health. Like,
You have a fair point there.
It's like, yeah, Nate Stryker does a lot of damage, but her time is starting to pass. The torch is being passed to Nerf Swain, as the name might need to be renamed to Nerf Senna.
Things are absolutely looking good for Never Lucky right now. This next dragon is coming up in 2 minutes. Yes, they are down 1.5k gold, but with this comp, it does not matter. They are in such a good spot at the moment.
The Last Whisper has been purchased onto Senna. That's a 3-item, 130 stack Senna, ready to roll when this dragon spawns. Now, of course, this dragon fight is still big. It is definitely, once again, Orbit Gaming's chance to really get a last power spike and try to take control of the game and win it, right? This next team fight honestly determines the game, because if Never Lucky wins, they run through bot and end the game. I think the inhib will be up, but I don't think it'll be enough. And of course, whoever wins this can also just walk over to Baron and take it. This is where fights are decided. This is where legends are made. And will this be the legend of Never Lucky's first loss? That's what Orbit Gaming wants to be able to do. But at this point, they've kind of been outscaled. They still have the gold on their side. They have a little bit of stats on their side, but they don't have the map pressure. There is so many odds that mean this fight can go either way, but in a minute we'll see them clash and we'll probably see the victor of this match.
This is really the game that is going to be the fight that decides this game. Who heads into the next game with that series lead? Who is putting the opponent in the corner and backing them off, saying you have to fight whenever time comes? And you can tell Never Lucky knows this. Sork Pot for Red Panda, Wrath Pot for Nerf Swain. This is going to be the fight.
The pots are out, the items are purchased, and the dance has begun over control of mid, bot, and the river. What will happen if a pick is shown? Surely that team will not be able to survive a 4v5. It's about staying alive, getting the pressure, getting the vision, and it starts now.
The pots are in and the gloves are off. The cannon barrage lands. Big chunk of damage coming in. Zachology already popped to about a quarter health. Meanwhile, these shock blasts are landing. Born to Quad down to literally no health. Does still have that GA available. Positioning right now favors the side of Never Lucky as this healing off of Red Panda, off of Nurse Swim comes in. Big shock blast, big scatter of the week coming in. Half healths, most of the side of Never Lucky, but there's the healing. There's the heal up coming in. Vi is taking them back. Born to Quad is not here. They took the reset. Does Never Lucky know? Do they pull the trigger?
It is a 5v4 right now. They did so much damage to Bond the Quad, but it looks like the tango is still continuing as Bond the Quad's going to be back in time, and it's Melly G who's getting torn to shreds at the moment.
Absolutely, and that's Cannon Barrage down. There's no big slow field that they've been looking for. Big scatter comes in onto many. Red Panda is able to live thanks to the healing off of Melge, off of Nerf Swain, and the surround sound themselves. This is going to be it. This is the fight. Flash engage! The encore! Storm! Nulled Void shreds them! That's it! That's the game! That's the match! That's the game one of the series! Thank you, next! Go on, Zachology! Take a bow! Nulled Void, clean them up, knock them down!
Orbit Gaming might be the first team ever to do it. The timers are 30 seconds apiece. They have the Mountain Soul, and it's just Nerf Swain trying to defend for themselves, but they don't got nothing. Gonna get ran down by Moose and Juice, and the Moose has become the hunter. That's mid-turret falling. That's inhibitor falling. The Mountain Soul is there, and just like you said, it's looking like doom and gloom as Never Lucky is truly going to fall to Orbit Gaming Quasar, and the first blemish on their record has happened here on the Super Bowl night.
Absolutely, Zachology called his shot with this rel, and he did not miss. He set him up. Nulled Void rips through the entirety of Never Lucky with that Inferno trigger. Says, you can heal through poke, but you ain't healing through burst.
Oh my God, what did we just witness? That was genuinely one of the closest matches of League I think PXE has ever seen. And
that was phenomenal.
What a way for Orbit Gaming to show themselves here, going from a team that's just kind of in the middle of the pack to a team that truly just made a moment for themselves, as Never Lucky gets not their first series loss, but their first overall loss in a game. Now that means they go from 7-0 to 7-1, but the series continues. They have to find a way to not just win one more match, but win 2 in a row. And after taking your first loss as a team is where the lines are built. See, this is where the pressure is truly on. They've never had the pressure of the next match they lose the series. And that's what they're going to be experiencing in this next game.
Red Panda and his crew of Never Lucky have never been backed into this corner before here at Phoenix Esports. We will have to see how they handle the pressure. But We will have to wait and see, as we are going to head to a break as we get draft set up for game number 2 of Never Lucky taking on Orbit Gaming. ladies and gentlemen, welcome in game number 2 of the night as Orbit Gaming takes on Never Lucky. Before we get to the game, welcome all you Super Bowl viewers who have come to an end. To all you Chiefs fan, congratulations on a well-fought game. My commiserations go to the Eagles fans out there, especially one Yanni. We love you, man. Sorry to see it happen. Can't wait to see you back casting. But it was a great game all around. And speaking of great games, you are hopefully in for another one here with Orbit Gaming and Never Lucky. Never Lucky, who had just dropped their first game of the season to Orbit Gaming. What are you thinking right now, Romeo?
I'm like still in shock by the ending of that match. I can't believe Orbit Gaming Quasar has done it, but man, props to them. They fought one hell of a fight. That game was 35 minutes of neck and neck action, and I'm really interested to see what's going to happen in this game, how drafts are going to change. Does Never Lucky pull out a more aggressive comp? Do they realize the couple of mistakes they made and commit to it? Because to be honest, that game throughout the whole thing could have went either side. Drafting played no problem for either of these two teams. They executed what they needed to do pretty well. I think the main things, we could have seen a little bit more encores, maybe waiting for the blade dance to finish for that to go in. And on the other side, I think Bond the Quad definitely could have done a little more with helping Samira and them get ahead in the bot lane. But other than that, they were just two beautifully executed comps, some really nice team fighting. And now the question is, what happens in game 2? How does it change? Was Never Lucky say it was just an unlucky game and stick with the same comp? Or do they say, they want to go balls to the walls with us, we know we can play either style, let's send it right back into their face and prove why we're top of the table?
We'll have to wait and see. Something to note, Never Lucky still going to be down all those bans due to running with an E-sub, I believe. So that really means they can't target their ban strategy at all. They can't change things up in that direction because they don't have the option to. Orbit Gaming has all the flexibility in the world, whereas Never Lucky really is pincered into a direction.
Yeah, they really kind of are, and it's... The anticipation's honestly killing me right now. I can't wait to get back onto the Rift for this game. It's just like, you don't often see a team that's middle of the table be the, for those who get this reference, the Sami Zayn of Phoenix and take down one of the big teams.
Whoa!
Let's go!
Da, 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 da.
But that being said, I think that means in terms of series records, there's technically still 3 undefeated teams until we see what happens this game. But games record, there's only one left at the top of the table, if I'm correct, and I believe that's Final Bastion.
Final Bastion, the last Bastion standing, true to their name. But we have news. Never Lucky, NL Tominato is back in. Never Lucky has gained their bans back. Ladies and gentlemen, we have a series on our hands.
And it's going to be interesting. Now, of course, their E-sub, Sports Boy, played out of his mind last game, if we're being completely honest. That Hecarim did so much, but we did see in one team fight him kind of be on the other side of where the rest of the team was, which did impact it a little bit. So the question is, now that they have Tominato back, now that their full squad is together, will we see Core Never Lucky at the top of the table run house? Or will this game be another nail-biter? We know now Orbit Gaming can bring it to them. Can they do the same now that Tominato is back?
Orbit Gaming, now on the blue side, has started off the draft with the brand ban away. Never Lucky Gaming, now on the red, starts it off, taking away that Vi that Born to Quad found so much success on.
Yeah, the Vi is going to go down. I think that's a brilliant ban from that side. I think the Vi did a lot with punishing the mistakes of Never Lucky in that last game. I think the Syndra ban also, beautiful bans there. Sometimes I see someone get fed and not taken away in the next game, and it sits there and it baffles my mind. But Never Lucky isn't going to ego it. They're saying, yeah, we lost to these 3 champions. Get them out of here.
What's not getting out of here, though, is that Rel. Zachology back on it. Look for another aggressive bot lane to try and punish Red Panda and Nerf Swain.
That
the question
Rel.
is, what will Never Lucky go towards this time to answer?
I have to be honest, that Rel, Zachology, kind of smurfed it a little bit that last game. We've seen so many of those flash ultimates really just destroy any hope of Never Lucky in certain team fights and give Orbit Gaming just such a monumental lead. It felt like anytime the game started to get close, a Flash Rel ultimate would really just find its way into 3 or 4 of them, and paired with the Samira and the Syndra just do so much damage. But now it's going to be paired with an Aphelios.
That's an interesting pairing. Very aggressive support with a AD carry who really likes to scale up. Meanwhile, Never Lucky once again grabbing the Seraphine, but this time pairing it with the Swain. Nerf Swain possibly getting his namesake, whereas Orbit Gaming grabs the final piece of the puzzle that is left on the board from their draft last time as Jace is picked up.
Now on the other side, we have kind of a double flex pick going with Swain Seraphine. Now I imagine with the way they play scaling bot lanes, odds are we see Red Panda nerf Swain on Seraphine Swain. But that being said, you might see Seraphine mid. You might see Swain mid if it's a matchup that truly benefits one of those two. And oh my god, that is an aggressive flex pick. We either see Olaf into Jace or Olaf into the jungle on Tominato. And oh my god, if an Olaf gets ahead, that's disaster.
What is scarier than an Olaf running at you? An Olaf followed up with Seraphine.
Yeah, Olaf followed up with Seraphine is something that haunts my nightmares. You get the encore, you want to be running away, but like just some force compelling you to step forward, you just walk right into the danger zone.
It's like, hey, there's really good music coming from this angry Viking who's ripping my face apart. I think I'm gonna go hug him.
We want an encore! Oh no, we won't survive an encore.
Yasuo taken off the board by Orbit Gaming, targeting some AD mid laners, most likely, whereas the Zac was banned away against Orbit Gaming, taking away a jungler, as well as Zoe, mid laner, taken away. Meanwhile, the GP, the scaling, is gone. They don't want to deal with any barrels or pirates.
I think that's another wonderful ban. We seen that GP last game really just gonna sneak his way into the fold, and before you knew it, that guy was just blasting barrels, taking out half health. And honestly, had they engaged after they took Vi's health down to 1, they might still have an undefeated record. Of course, they didn't know she backed, but what they did know were those GP barrels deleted her health bar off the face of the Rift, like 20 HP left standing on Bon and Quad in that last fight.
Last game, Moose and Juice did such a good job with this chase, getting so many empowered shock blasts off for the poke. They're going to be looking to continue that this game, and we have another strong ganking jungler picked up for Born to Quad. It is the J4, and that's a Yorick for Never Lucky?
I'm as confused as you are. We seen the team fight. Last game was really a battle of the team fight, and they said, you know what? This is going to be our change. It's
confusing.
It's a split pusher. They think they're going to hold off long enough with the 4v5. And you know what? Actually, I get it. The fights we seen last time lasted very, very, very long. They were long fights where we seen people dying and going back. But now with a Yorick, it's a little bit different. Now when you have a Yorick running on the sideline, yeah, you got the 5v4. But if Senna, Swain, Seraphine, Olaf, they're able to stall out the fight with an Orianna as well, you're just gonna have a Yorick taking your entire base. And we did the one team fight where it was a 4v5. They lost the fight, yeah. But GP took T1, T2, T3, inhib on the bot side. Now they're committing to it.
Absolutely. They're saying, you know what? GP got a lot of split push last game. What if we did that on steroid? And Yorick is exactly what that is. He is a split-pushing menace. Jace is going to be the one on the sideline trying to answer this. And when he joins the team fight, trying to link up that poke with Ziggs. And so that's what Orbit really wants to bring to the table with the Jace Ziggs. Yorick is just going to be pushing away. Meanwhile, Never Lucky in that 4-man team fight is going to be relying on the Seraphine engage in the Orianna follow-up, with an Olaf and Swain acting as pseudo-tanks thanks to the Seraph.
Now, of course, you guys have a minute and a half left to enter your predictions on who's going to win. Is it going to be Orbit Gaming or Never Lucky in Game 2? If Orbit Gaming wins, they will be the first team ever to beat Never Lucky in a series in 2-0 fashion if they're able to do it. Never Lucky fighting this game to keep the undefeated series streak alive and still stand at the top of the table in the top 3. If they lose, they're convincingly in 3rd place, and it'll be Final Bastion and Spartan Shields as the only 2 teams left at the top of the leaderboard. This game is for all the marbles. We're about to go into our spectator delay, so stay tuned to find out if Never Lucky are able to stay alive at the top of the leaderboards, or if Orbit Gaming will be the first team to ever do what no team has done, and that's beat Never Lucky in a full series.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome into our second match of game number 2. Orbit Gaming taking on Never Lucky. They are up 1-0 currently. They are looking for a 5-man invade here. Zachology gets tagged by the Undertow. Has to use that crash down away. Going to get slowed again. The Undertow keeps coming in. The autos are coming out. Forces the flash away. Tom Minato is going after him. And that will force Rel completely out of there. Forces out her flash. That's a free summoner blown as they look for the invade here.
If only that other Undertow hit, I think Zachology would have been dead. Would have been real close. But now
really close.
Jay's gonna get a ward on that red buff. They're gonna know the starting position of Minato. I mean, it's vice versa though. Ward on Bond the Quad's buff as well. And it looks like we're gonna get Olaf starting in the bot side and Jarvan starting in the top side. We're gonna see them once again playing around Null and Voided and Zachology. Will that be the correct decision? Only time will tell. Meanwhile, Tom Minato's going to try to get that Yorick or himself ahead and really commit to that split push.
Look at the damage instantly out of there from the combination of the Shock Blast and the To the Skies. Really getting lost a little bit of nice damage out there. Something to note, get off my doink, TP Ignite. Usually you see that with a champ that's got a decent bit of mobility, but here he's just going pure offensive summoners.
Now, mobility's overrated when you have a maiden, you know? What is Jace? He's maidenless. He's got no bitches but Yorick. He's got a maiden.
He maiden, man. But yeah, right now everybody's going to farm out. It looks like both junglers farming away. Olaf appears to be pathing towards that top side, whereas J4 moving towards the bot. Nerf Swain trying to step up and zone away Null and Voided, who of course right now is on that Calibrum Crescendum combo using the Calibrum range to just farm away and the Severum to get himself a little bit of healing. Caught in the Death's Grasp though, pulls him back in with the Never move and really chunks out Null and Void. He is so low at the moment, but look at this. Tom Minato in the area, just waiting, walks in. There's the Reckless Swings with the Undertow. First blood off a beautiful play by Tom Minato.
So we've seen the difference here between Tom Minato and Sports Boy already. Tom Minato.
And Zachology stunned under
my
tower,
God,
thanks to the Never move, but then goes in. Tom Minato's not done. There's the Reckless Swings. There's one. That's another, but he does fall in the end. That does end up being 3 for 1 overall, though, with the jungler and double bot lane falling of Orbit Gaming to just the jungler of Tom Minato. Tom Minato already making his presence felt, saying, this is why Never Lucky lost, because I wasn't.
Hey guys, my name's Tom Minato, and I already have 2 kills. I'm already on this first way to a fat Olaf. You know your Jarvan? Yeah, I stole his camps, I stole his life, signed up for the gray screen, then I ran bot, took a tower dive. You know, yeah, I died, but now my bot lane gets a ton of CS. We deny them a ton of CS. They're ahead. I've gotten half my team ahead so far. Now all I need to do is get Yorick ahead, and we have 3 winning lanes.
In other words, hi, I'm Tom Minato, and welcome to Jackass.
Are you
right
calling
now,
Tom Minato
it looks
a
like
jackass?
Born to Quad just trying to help push out this mid lane. Blows the flash of gymnastics on this Orianna. And top scuttle appears to be the call for Tom Minato right now. The question is, does Tom Minato meet face to face with his mortal enemy Born into Quad again? Oh no!
Oh my God!
Know. The Reckless Swing! The flag deck, he misses it! He goes wide! And the Undertow! Oh no! Oh dear. Orbit Gaming, I think you've pissed somebody off. His name is Tom Minato. He is here to play. He is not happy that his team lost without him.
He missed the flag and drag. Oh my, that is, like, it happens for sure. It happens. And we've seen how well Bond played last game, but you can't be missing those against a top contender team. Yeah, you won the first game, but now Tom Minato is here and he's 3-1. He's already got Iron Spike. It's been 4 minutes.
He's got Iron Spike and 1.1k gold in inventory.
He's gonna have Gore Drinker
in like 10 minutes.
Homie's gonna back by Gore Drinker, walk to the first Drake, take it, and then walk to Herald. Oh my God!
He's saying, hi, this is my game.
Hey guys, listen, it was all a part of the plan. He's actually on the phone.
Lands into that Vision of the Empire. Stunned down though, in comes the crash down. Red Panda trying to walk away. Null and Void, no mana, gets pulled in by the Never Move again. There's the Death's Hand, slowed again, flipped up by that remount, pulled in by that remount, but there's the Flash in to get the Death's Hand, getting the stun, getting the kill, running away, flash in with the Thrash, that will be enough, slow him down, one heal comes out. There is another one. Never move flag that will land this time is born.
Ultimately, it's a 1-for-1, but it's so unfortunate that their might be too soft win and pull them. I'm pretty sure he was out, but the ability to click and pull them and get the two stacks was too much for him to bear. That is funny.
And right now, Red Panda just farming up away. Tominato in a very good space, taking this back right now. Already has 150 gold bounty. Oh no! Oh no! Run, Nate! Run! He's running for his life. Gets pulled in by the shockwave. The flash isn't enough. He's walking away though. Does end up saving his own life. The knockout by Moose and Juice is able to disengage New York as the auto is just coming back and forth. But Tominato just wants more gold. He wants this wave. Wait a second. The other toe lands.
Oh
He's got Ghost.
God.
He's going in. Pops the Ragnarok. That's another kill for Tominato. Dear God. Just throw up the white flag. It's a Tominato game. It's a jungle game. This is an Olaf game.
You know when you're in like high school and you bully the younger brother a little bit, and then the older brother who's 5 grades up steps in and says, "Hey, what do you think you're doing?" That is what Tominato is doing right now for Never Lucky.
Tominato saying, "I saw you beat my friends last game. I'm here to beat you."
What's that quote? We might not save the winning streak, but I'll damn sure avenge it.
Absolutely. Born to Quad right now. Just doing his best to farm up. And Tominato in such a good position. Encore comes in onto Null and Void. Forces out the cleanse. He is going to live, though, barely. Thanks to that heal coming out in the end. Zachology just going to be able to peel back and barely live. And this is such an impressive ball. Oh my god, that back barely came in time.
Honestly, I was making jokes about how he should be called Nerf Senna with how well Senna was late into that game. But just seeing Nerf Swain on the champion of his namesake.
Why his name is Nerf Swain.
Oh my god, man. I kind of forgot they left Swain up for this, man. I kind of forgot his name was Nerf Swain, but you can really tell why.
You can very much tell why. He has been running over bot lane with the help of Tominato. 2-1 and 2 at the moment, building towards that Leandries. A great position to be in. And right now, get up a doink, just doing his thing and doinking these minions, getting themselves up some little minions, trying to push this tower. And he is now with Maiden. He gets the bitches.
Doink the Clown living in this bot lane rent-free. As first dragon is taken, you can only imagine Herald's the next to follow. It's going to be very hard to contest because the second Tominato backs, he's getting that Gore Drinker.
Oh,
or Strikebreaker
absolutely.
if he really chooses.
He can get whatever the hell he wants. With that Caulfield's, I believe it is going to be the Gore Drinker. But Herald, like you mentioned, the next thing on the menu for both squads. Tominato, though, hovering down towards this bot lane, sees a little Aphelios stepping up. He's like, it's gonna go too far. Can I get another kill?
We're waiting for the game of inches to come into play as Tominato's got all the time in the world to wait. He's far enough ahead to commit to these plays. He's got the CS lead. Oh no. God.
Null and Void, run! Oh no, Null and Void gets slowed into the Vision of the Empire, running him down. The CC immunity comes in from the Ragnarok, ignoring the crash down. The auto's coming, he gets stuck under tower though, and he eats the big Ziggs bomb. The Mega Inferno bomb will take him out, but Gymnastics is in the area. Shockwave pulls in. Zachology picks up the kill as well. 2 for 1 bot side, but a shutdown going to Master Nate Striker.
Last game I said stories were being made, and right now we've seen the top dog finally come back to where it is. But what you have to notice right there, a small seed has been planted. We look, Nate Striker just picked up a 300 gold bounty, and who was the oppressive threat from Orbit Gaming last game?
Not going to go anything. Encore lands into that Spirit of the Empire. In comes the Demonic Ascension, rooted under the tower. And meanwhile, Cataclysm comes out. That is going to be a 1-for-1 trade in the end with Nerf Swain falling to spawn the quad.
Seraphine barely making it out. The flash committed, but that means that Rift Herald's going top. My question for this game here is, do you put the Rift Herald on Tominato or do you put it on Doink? And it looks like it's going to go on Doink.
You put it wherever the hell Doink is. I mean, you put it wherever the hell Tominato is.
And it's really interesting because this game, it feels like something we didn't see as much last game, where every member of Never Lucky seems to have a different role in the team, and they're all playing it to perfection.
Right now, things going very well for the side of Never Lucky. Get up Madoink just pushing away, and Tominato just saying, this is my jungle. I don't care that it's on your half of the map. This is mine.
I mean, who's going to stop him? They have Prio in every lane.
The answer is no one. No one is going to stop him.
It is very, very difficult right now to see Orbit Gaming come back. It's not impossible for sure, especially considering there is a little bit of gold onto Nate Striker that they can try to work with. Right now, his lane and top lane are probably the two most balanced. The Jace has almost finished his call, which, by the way, we didn't mention it, but a little bit of an interesting buy onto Moose and Juice, committing to a farming lane, and it's worked out well for him.
Lab's coming in here. Flash Magnet Storm goes wide, but the Flag Drag lands. Spirit of Empire is going to catch them. Red Panda looks like they're going to be the sacrifice here. Here comes the Demonic Ascension, though, as Nerf Swain's just going to be sucking away, getting all this health back. Onto 3, pops it for the extra damage. He's just ripping through Bond on the quad. He's onto 2. Zachology pulled back in. Nulled in Void, going to have to dodge out of that vision of Empire. He will eat the Death's Hand, though. The Death's Hand of Nerf Swain is here for you.
Hello? Hey, freak?
Yeah, oh no! Nate Striker, run! There's nothing you can do! He's a madman! He's running! Gymnastics. That's not fair, that was Tominato's.
Hey, freak, I got a clip to show you. Yeah, there's a guy on the Rift right now named Nerf Swain who, he doesn't die. You think you could hotfix that for us, please?
Hey, freak, buddy, listen, take a look at it. This balance? Nah, I don't think so. You know, but don't just running under tower and bonks him over the head with that last rights, getting some extra damage off. Almost caught him with that Morning Mist, which I think would have gotten a kill. But right now, get up on Doink, just push it away.
And that also means he's got Demolished. Is he going to be able to hit one before Moose and Juice TP's back? I'm kind of curious. I'm just going to look real quick. And he's going to get the Demolish in another plating. That is really big. Moose and Juice is sitting on 1,300 gold that he just got in the blink of an eye.
Moose and Juice now does have that Eclipse finished, but Get Up a Doink likely going to be taking the Mac and giving themselves a nice chunk of change, maybe a mythic of their own. Nolden Void stepping up here, gets the Gravitum Fruit. Encore comes in, but a Magnet Storm is big, pulls them into the Mega Death Rock. Sorry, pulls them into the Mega Inferno Bomb, and that is 2 kills going over to Nate Slayer.
Nate Striker has now gotten 3 kills, and last time Nate Striker got bad.
Run! It's the
Olaf.
Well. Okay.
Ragnarok is nothing! Wow!
Charge! Retreat!
Charge! Retreat! Attack! Retreat!
We are outgunned! And that means Tominato is running for his life!
I was really hoping you were going to say outgunned!
Outmanned!
Outmanned!
Out-cataclysmed! Out-chakrammed! As a Nolden Void takes him out. But Nerf Swain is here, pulls back with the Never Move, and says, hey, freak, you're going to want to look at this champ still, because I'm a problem.
That being said, 150 gold bounty onto Aphelios, and a double kill on a Nate Striker. These are the 2 champions you want to get strong on your team, and it's starting to happen.
The autos off, hits on to that beat drop, able to get a slow with the exhaust. Nate Striker just running away, but thanks to the electrocute and the Death's Hand, that will be Nerf Swain picking up yet another kill. Remind me, who's the carry in this bot lane again? Because I think it's Nerf Swain.
Hey, listen, you've heard of Funnel Senna, now we funnel Swain. And that's why first tower is going to go over to him. And then second tower to Yorick, and it's starting to look like third tower to Orianna.
No, you're wrong. See, yep, first tower goes there. Second tower goes to Orianna.
Listen, I can only count to 4. Can we just pretend that counting to 3 is easy for me?
Absolutely. You did a great job there, Romeo. Round of applause. I mean, such perfect counting. Nobody could have done it better.
Listen, I played Mario Teaches Counting, okay? I know what I'm doing. And so does Tominato as the second Drake is taken for the side of Neverlucky.
Bomb in the quad just gets chunked out by that Swain combo of the Never Move and the Vision of Empire. But it looks like Tominato's not done. He's going in. He wants his red buff. The Ragnarok is popped, running him down. Able to auto down and use that. But the Cataclysm keeps him inbound. You may be immune to CC. You're not immune to a terrain, buddy, as he keeps chasing him down. But look who's in the area. Big! Oh, there's the high note coming in. Not able to do much. But the Moonlight Vigil with that Infernum shreds Neverlucky, as it is Nulled and Void who pulls out the kills here. But Maiden topside means get up. Doink says, oh, you're all bot side? Hey, Moose and Juice, I hope you don't mind. I'm just gonna take this tower, buddy. Yeah, don't mind me. I'm just gonna smack it a couple times. Hey, that's my girl. Get up, my girl, man. And he's stuck in that wall, and he will fall. The Dark Procession means that Yorick gives Jace his last rites.
Moose hunting Canada. Can't hunt a moose anywhere else.
And right now, get off my doink is just shoving out this top lane. The split push menace has arrived. Already has that Divine Sunderer pushing away with his Maiden. Says he needs 2 people to respond up here as we see Jarvan and Rel already in the area.
Now, earlier today, we seen Jarvan Cataclysms really impact their team's ability to do some damage. And it heavily impacted the earlier matches. But this game, Jarvan kind of seems like a sleeper pick. Yeah, he got bullied early. But one Cataclysm that's performed well, and an Olaf without flash means the Ragnarok's going to burn out in an instant.
Flash for flash burn there, as the Shockwave does not catch Nulled and Voided due to that flash away. But like you mentioned, the Cataclysm, it doesn't matter if you're Ragnaroking and ignoring all my CC. You can't walk through a Cataclysm. You're stuck in place. You can't CC immune terrain.
I mean, you can try, but without flash...
I would know.
Work.
I've gotten very angry and run at a wall. You do not go through.
Well...
Unless your name's the Kool-Aid Man. Flag and drag in, though, onto Nerf Swain. Just getting chunked out to the skies, though, is able to take down Swain. The Encore comes in, going to go wide, but burning down. Bond, the quad, is able to live in the end. Tominato, though, running him down. Flipped up by that Magnet Storm. And the remount, Red Panda, though, picks up on the quad in the end, though. The Cataclysm not coming out in the end there, as they were just running away. And here comes Nulled and Void, catches Red Panda. They're continuing the chase. They want Gymnastics now, though that it looks like that the Dissonance is going to be able to disengage and get them out.
And this is a strange Rift Herald. Your team just lost the team fight, and now, get off my doink, is getting collapsed on by the enemy team.
Can he take this? Zachology's low. Looks like he's just going to try and walk it out. Eats the Shock Blast. Eats a Bouncing Bomb. Lands the Morning Mist to get the extra damage. But the Maiden is here, but so is Gymnastics. Shockwave takes down Jace. And Nate Striker maybe next, as the autos of that Clockwork Grind-Up coming in. But there's the Mist again. The minions jump, and that's going to be another kill as Get Off My Doink makes it out and takes 2, thanks to the assistance of Gymnastics.
And the bait was there from Get Off My Doink. I mean, the last game I said he's one of the strongest top laners in PXE, and he's kind of just proving why. The macro knowledge, or not even the micro, but just the macro to be able to say, I got faith my team's going to back me up here. We drop the Rift Heralds as bait, and their entire team to come, and then him and Gymnastics just say, hi guys, yeah, you're all dead actually, thank you, have a nice day.
That is an understatement, thanks to the arrival of Gymnastics. The Shockwave was able to take down 1, and that just meant it was cleanup duty off some great Morning Mists for Yorick. But right now, 2 dragons have already been taken by Neverlucky. Third one is up on the board in 40 seconds. That would put them to Soul Point, and they are in complete control at the moment. Flag drag goes wide, as does the Never Move. And right now, Nate Striker just trying to get some damage onto Red Panda.
And the thing is, in any other game, you probably see that Cataclysm going to Swain. But Bon the Quad knows there's only one target that Cataclysm is ever allowed to go on, and his name is Tominato. Because if the Tominato is not in the Cataclysm, they win the fight.
Absolutely. Locking down Tominato is going to be so important for these fights. The Cataclysm is going to be key, and that's going to be what decides whether this next dragon fight, which is up now. the vision of the Empire is going to scout out too. Get that vision in a bit of a chunk onto Zachology.
They're fighting for control. Oh my god.
Bye, Zachology. You're half health already, though the Encore does go wide. There's no follow-up here. That means the poke is now what's mainly going to be the focus of Moose and Juice and Nate Striker.
However,
But
it's
meanwhile,
a 44.
it looks like they're just going to give it. They're giving it. There's nobody contesting in this area. We see Moose and Juice backing. They're giving this soul. Well, not soul. They're giving the soul point, should I say.
And I mean, that's a big thing to give. They go to stop, get off my doink from pushing the top lane. But with an Inferno Soul coming up, and Olaf on the enemy team, and an unkillable Swain, the game gets a little bit more difficult, doesn't it?
Very much so. An unkillable Swain is always difficult to deal with, especially when he's buffed up by a Seraphine and he has, this item that increases his healing from his ultimate and the Seraphine in tow. It makes him take less magic damage from the Ziggs. Yeah, he gonna be hard to kill.
What is worth mentioning, though, is last game, we seen the same positions but reversed. Last time, it was Orbit Gaming who were ahead with the soul point and a little bit more gold, but now it's Never Lucky, and the question is, will Never Lucky be able to do what Orbit did to them, or are we going to see a reversal of fortune?
Shockwave knocked away by Moose and Juice, uses that thundering blow to get himself out of danger. Well played, probably saves him his life, but meanwhile, get off Badoink, able to get some autos out with that last rights. Bond the quad, chunked out heavily. That may be a sign for the side of Never Lucky to look at this Baron. And that's what Tominato wants. They're going right away. Meanwhile, bot side flashes away. Red Panda and Gymnastics getting out. Meanwhile, Moose and Juice also flashing away. But this is just a 3-man Baron right now.
Oriana might need to commit that TP because... Oh, wait, never mind. Ziggs has not started heading over.
Slowed. He gets caught by the Vision of Empire. Zachology is also in the area. Right now, Tominato's just soloing this Baron. But Nerf Swain coming in. Red Panda is here. Catches the Encore into the charm. Crash down, gets nothing. No Magnet Storm to follow. Tominato's looking, gets the undertow on to Bond the quad. That is 2 kills going over to Mr. Tominato.
And another bounty on Tominato, and you know what that means? No jungler up on the side of Orbit Gaming, and that means Baron is firmly in the hands of Never Lucky, unless we can see Nate Striker hit a Mega Inferno Bomb and try to steal it, but I don't think it's going to be up in time.
Panda? Okay, Panda's fine. I got really worried there as he was, I think, double-digit HP. But Tominato going to be able to easily clean up this Baron. No risk of the Mega Inferno Bomb steal, as you mentioned. And that's just Baron going over with a 9k gold lead at the moment for Never Lucky. They are in complete control over this game.
It is a massive gold league, and I see people in the chat saying it's about Nate Striker carrying once Tominato falls off. Well, the thing is, when you're this far ahead, is the game going to go long enough for Tominato to fall off? And once that Inferno Drake is taken, how do you get it? Because a traditional 5v5 is going to be hard to win.
Goldenwood barely dodges out, forced to flash away, was not tagged by the Undertow. Tominato's still running, though. He's just running down these guys, though he's going to eat some turret shots thanks to the crescendo.
Again, they are able to chunk out Tominato a little bit. It's just about finding the Cataclysm and getting out alive so that his Ragnarok wears off and then re-engaging. The thing is, you have to do that in time for York to not eat your entire base alive, which means every fight you take, you're on the clock.
Right now, though, we do see the Anathema's chains pulled out for Bond the Quad, getting that damage reduction onto one member. Now, who do you expect this to be on?
Olaf. I don't even think it's Olaf.
Yeah, fair point. The only AD threat, it's Olaf.
Who's it going to be? Olaf. You're going to buy it on Olaf? You're going to put it on Olaf? And then you're going to buy either more stuff to resist Olaf. I'm surprised we haven't seen like a Brambles yet, maybe, from Jarvan. Although there's a lot of heal cut on that team already. Or you buy full magic resist after that. And just really just be your team's tank that they desperately need.
Gymnastics just poking away with these command attacks, using his ball to massive success. And right now, Dragon in a minute 10. That is Infernal Soul on the board. Tominato shoving mid, rooted down by Nold and Voided, going to walk it off though. Meanwhile, topside, get off Badoink, shoving away with his mate.
And this Baron has gotten them so much. They've gotten the T3 turret bot lane. They might even take this mid T2 and have all the T2s off the board. Meanwhile, they've only lost one tower.
Definitely. And right now, just sieging away, trying to get complete control ready for this dragon. As Tom Minato just takes a free blue buff and says, I don't care that it's not my jungle. It is my jungle.
I mean, at this point, with all the towers down, it kind of just is his jungle. They can't step up far enough, and I know as a jungler how bad that feels. And just look at the CS cap. 201 CS on Tom Minato to the 89 on Bon the Quad.
On the quad, looking at something. There is the flag drag in. Red Panda will throw out the Encore, able to lock down. There is a big Magna Storm, followed by the Cataclysm, like you said, locking down Tom Minato. He's taken down. Nerf Swain now the target. 4 people on him. Shockwave going to pull them in, and he will be able to take down Aphelios, but he is not dying until he finally drops. Takes another down with him to the skies up top. But I get off my doink, shoving away, taking this tower. That is 2 for 3. Going the way of Orbit Gaming.
All right, I got another clip to send to Freak. Because Swain appears to be a freak of nature. Every fight he's in, you think he's going to die, and then he just doesn't. And then you think he's going to die again, and then he just doesn't. And they got the heal cut. The heal cut's there, but the man's living. And he even took down the Devil and Null and Void and bring him to a KDA total of 6, 6, and 6. But will the Devil be on his side as this Inferno Drake spawns? Orbit Gaming.
The devil is always in the details, my friend, and the details say, look at Never Luckies. They're getting completely set up for this Infernal Soul Dragon. Meanwhile, the side of Orbit Gaming has no control over their own jungle right now. This is absolutely Never Lucky's dragon to take, and there's not a damn thing Orbit Gaming can do about it.
And once again, it looks like a dragon fight that could decide the game, but it doesn't even look like they're contesting it. Bon the Quad is going to have to steal it to keep Orbit Gaming Quasar alive. The prayers are being sent. It's down to 2K.
He's looking for the hero play, and he goes in, does not get it in the end. It does fall to Tom Minato. Sacrifices his life. A valiant effort all around. Not enough, though, as Tom Minato gets the dragon, and Bon the Quad does fall.
And that makes this game so difficult for Orbit Gaming to win now. They're down 10K. Inferno Soul, the arguably strongest soul in the game, besides Cloud Soul, because obviously Cloud Soul's the best, arguably strongest soul in the game, is now firmly in the side of Never Lucky. They have it there, and Olaf, you think he does damage now. Wait till he throws the next Undertow.
Undertow just going to share. Meanwhile, Get Up Madoink just hops over and makes 4 of them run away. He's a Yorick, and he's forcing all of them away. That's amazing. But top side, look at this 4-stack coming in. We see Red Panda rotating over to make this a 5-stack as they look to siege onto this top inhibitor. Look to possibly end the game. Look for the final fight. Tom Minato on this blast gun. Look to possibly go over with Nerf Swain. He does have that Demonic Ascension available whenever he wants to go in. There goes Ragnarok. There goes the CC chain. In comes the Cataclysm. It ain't doing a damn thing, though, as here comes Nerf Swain. Flashes over. Nate Striker going to be running for his life. The last man standing, diving under his mid lane tower. He will survive, but none of his friends will. He's watched his friends fall. He saw Tom Minato rip them to shreds as they all danced along to a catchy pop song, and he's left screaming at the horrors. He has to defend his base. He's the last man standing. He's trying to do it. Gets chunked out by that command attack and just doing his best to defend the base, but this is a challenge not even he can answer, as right now Get Off My Doink just wants a tower to pad his stats. Top Nexus tower falls, bottom Nexus tower falls, but his friends are back, and that means this may not be game just yet. Every inhibitor, every tower on the map of Orbit Gaming has fallen, but the Nexus stands. So long as they have a Nexus, they have hope.
I mean, they do have a hope. They certainly have hope. That hope needs to start with stealing Baron and end with Nate Striker getting a pentakill, and then running down mid lane with some bombs, blowing up the base, and getting the enemy Nexus before they all respawn.
Honestly, at this point, I think he needs 2 pentakills.
Possible? Yeah, for sure. Were they the underdogs last game and came back and took the first W off Everlucky? Yeah. However,
that was without Tom Minato.
And I think
Tom Minato has been showing why he's such an important part of this team. As Baron is being pinged out and says, they can't contest us if they want. Their entire base is open. They're being flooded by super minions. Nate Striker and Noble Voided have to just clear these waves. Meanwhile, bot side, Get Off Doink is shoving away. There's not a damn contest that can comes in unless there's a super mega bomb, and that is going to chunk. The burn, not there, as the smite is true.
Now, this, to be honest, if this went badly for Neverlucky, I would be in shock. They just kind of have to walk down with the waves and let the super minions end the game.
This would be the throw of the century if they lost. Like, there's not a chance in hell.
Are you saying that Orbit has no chance?
Right?
No chance in hell?
No chance! No chance,
no chance in hell!
And now Tominato gets locked down with the Magnet Storm, but he's just running in. The Cataclysm does lock him down, but meanwhile in the back line, it doesn't even matter if the Nexus falls. I was going to talk about this team fight, but there is no fight. As Get Off Doink says, I don't care.
And now we go into Game 3, and the question of Game 3 is kind of simple. Tominato's back. Tominato came into Game 2 and made a statement. But we still see Nate Striker, the only guy with a positive KD on his team. He played his heart out. Now the question becomes, is Nate Striker strong enough to dethrone the threat of Tominato? Or, now that Tominato's back, is Neverlucky going to win the series? That is truly what this game has become about. It's Game 3. Now, Orbit Gaming will always be able to say they took a game off Neverlucky. But going to Game 3, you have to wonder, was it just a fluke because Tominato was not there, or will they be able to prove it? Put some gravel behind their back and say, hey, we're taking this whole series.
Orbit Gaming thought they managed to take down Neverlucky, but little did they know, this is a boss fight. Congratulations, you beat Stage 1. Welcome to Stage 2. Tominato is back, and he's here for blood.
And now they're clicking retry as they're spawning at the last checkpoint, and we're going to go into Game 3, so stay tuned to find out if Neverlucky can stay undefeated in their series record, or will Orbit Gaming find a way to dethrone Tominato and the rest of his boys?
Welcome back, everybody, to game number 3, Neverlucky taking on Orbit Gamer. We talk a bit more, but apparently the teams are really antsy to get going. There's a bit of aggro in the air as we have Neverlucky going up against Orbit Gaming. Game 3, Vi, Syndra, Olaf, Seraphine already banned away.
You can feel the tension in the air of these two teams. They're itching to go at each other. Neverlucky fighting to stay at the top, and Orbit Gaming fighting to dethrone them and prove why they have come to Phoenix Esports League. But at the end of the last game, although you didn't see it on stream, I'm going to mention, Get Off My Doink, type GG Easy in the all chat. Right at the end of the game.
That's going to go one of two ways. That's either going to be the biggest, you beat us without our full team, good job, you can't beat us at all, or that's going to be the biggest pie in the face since who threw the pie in Kevin Owens' face.
Now, what you noticed, first ban gone, Olaf, the Seraphine gone, we're not getting the double mage bot lane probably. Vi gone again, Syndra gone again, Samira gone again, Riven banned away. Again, these bans make a lot of sense when you're looking at it. And now, I think we're both asking the same question here. Who?
Baraka.
Swain, wait a minute, Nerf Swain's back on Swain.
Nerf Swain is back on Swain. And Orbit Gaming says, Zachology, you've been on Rel twice now. We're going to go with the Soraka instead.
I think the two main draft picks we're waiting to see here, though. Tominato and Striker. Those are the real questions that are left in the air. These two have been the strongest members of their team. Who are the offensive threats that they're going to play?
Caitlyn now picked up for Never Lucky, going for some bot lane dominance now up against this short-ranged Zeri. We see this Zeri Soraka already picked up the Swain Caitlyn. We can imagine this is a double bot lane. I'd imagine we see Tominato's pick possibly locked in here.
And the thing is, we don't usually see the side of Never Lucky not commit to double mage bot lanes, but now they're going to try to show off a little bit of offensive threat on an actual ADC, which we haven't usually seen. And Tominato going to pull out what his replacement had pulled out game one, and so maybe he can do it a little bit better.
Absolutely. Gymnastics was in the jungle that game one, was decent on the Hecarim, but Tominato saying, hey buddy, head back to mid. Let me show you how it's done.
And we're going to see what the countermeasure from Bond the Quad is. He's not going to get divided. Jarvan looked okay.
I love the Maokai. I think he is such a strong champion right now, even after the recent nerfs. He's still so oppressive as a top laner, as a jungler in particular. His ult is just so everything.
He's straight up the best jungler in the game. There's no contesting it. Even with the nerf, he's the best jungler in the game by far.
I'm not going to argue with you about that. Yasuo banned away by Orbit Gaming, taking away an AD mid laner. Meanwhile, Never Lucky going to bans as well, likely targeting that mid and top laner. The Zoe is once again removed.
And we are here looking as the last two bans are dropped. The Yorick gone. I can't say I'm surprised, because although on casting we're not talking a whole lot about what Doink's doing, it's because every time he's on the other side of the map with the split push, taking towers, and anytime Doink's on a split pusher, it means there's a clock running on Orbit Gaming, and every team fight they take, they have to keep in mind there is nobody there to defend. Get off my Doink.
Do we see another split pusher this game from Never Lucky? Do they head in another direction with something like a possible Alawi?
And the further question is,
does Orbit Gaming...
It's a Jace ban. It's a Jace ban.
It's a Jace ban.
That is, I mean, I'm not too surprised about that, because Jace was what
Orbit
stopped it up by
Gaming
going
take away the gangplank.
No, they picked the gangplank.
Yeah, sorry. They take away the gangplank, as in they take it away. And Never Lucky, you're hovering, Jace. They lock in the Alistar. Is that locked in? I don't know.
No, I don't think that's locked in yet. Sorry, dumb site from Null and Voided. We're trying to see what their actual pick is. It seems to be a little bit glitchy as we await to see what it's going to be.
It's the Alistar.
So no. It glitched.
Oh, it did?
Yeah, it's a Scion pick. I don't think that Alistar is real.
Okay, I'm confused, but
Ali is Scion, and then this other pick is not Scion.
Scion is God knows what.
Yeah, so Alistar is Scion. Scion does exist on their team, which is kind of another split pushing threat. And
Karma. Is this a mid lane Karma, or is this a mid lane Swain?
No, that's a mid lane Karma. There's no way Nerf Swain's not playing Swain. If it is
a very fair point there.
If it is a mid lane Karma, it means Gymnastics going to support, brother, because that is most certainly a Nerf Swain playing Swain. Freak is got to be in the stream right now. I'm hoping to watch what's about to happen. But
and
Karma
there is the Dark Child locked in. Annie, the queen of the recent patch notes, so much so that she got a hot fix nerf, has been brought out. What's better than a point-and-click lockdown CC?
You know what I do see with this team comp of Never Lucky? They've committed to playing for Tominato here.
Oh, this is a Tominato game. This is a Hecarim with a Karma.
You got a Swain pulling them in, Karma just enhancing you and sprinting right full. And I'm not gonna lie, I want to see a Cloud Soul this game really, really badly for Zeri versus Hecarim. It is a battle of speed. You don't see it too often, but almost every champion in this game has some sort of speed to them. Karma is enhancing every member of Never Lucky. Hecarim's, of course, pretty quick. Swain is sprinting at you down a lane, unstoppable. And then on the side of Orbeck, you got Zeri, you got Annie, who I believe has enhanced movement on her shield, right? Something like that.
Correct, she does.
And then, I mean, let's be real. You press that ultimate of Maokai, and he just starts sprinting at you like he's Usain Bolt.
Yeah, everybody really just strong in these fights. It'll be interesting to see how everything plays out. So, heading into game number 3, drafts all on the table. We see what both sides are bringing. I gotta ask you, Romeo, who is taking the 2-1?
Okay. It's just difficult, and I'll tell you why it's difficult. I think they have such a good team comp on paper, and then you look at Maokai. Never Lucky looks like they've creamed draft, and then you see Maokai Annie, and the amount of just point and click CC you can put on Tominato whenever he tries to do something. If his ults aren't used perfectly, he is going to drop dead in an instant. So, who do I think is going to win? I mean, you know what? The guy who makes me think that Never Lucky is going to win isn't Tominato, to be honest. I think Get Off My Doink, his split pushing power and putting them on a time limit, is kind of what gives them the advantage in my eyes. And because of that, I think it's going to be close, but I think Never Lucky's barely going to beat them out.
I'm personally all aboard the Tominato train. He's going to pull into station with a nice assist from Gymnastics. I think Tominato is going to lead Never Lucky to continue their undefeated series score, as they have unfortunately blemished their games. But with that, we are going to head into our final spectator delay of the night. When we come back, Game 3, final game of the night, Never Lucky, Orbit Gaming Quasar. and gentlemen, welcome into our final game of the night. Never Lucky and Orbit Gaming Quasar going head-to-head. Game number 3, series tied. Game on the line. It seems like we have a 5-stack coming in from Orbit Gaming, going to try and make use of Nate Striker's early game CC due to the fact that he now has that Pyromancy passive already stacked up available for his son. The question is, who is the unlucky soul that is going to meet him face to face? It looks like Tomanito and Swain have already looped around, but look at this. They're stacked. Panda could be in trouble. The barrel is already primed. He's walking up. Instant stun. Panda flashes away, as does Nerf Swain. Big Root comes in, but Bond the squad healed up. Flash, Bramble Smash. Panda will fall. First blood to Moose in Juice.
And that first blood onto a GP is big. He's able to back. He's going to be able to TP, get to the wave in time, and he's going to have a little bit extra. His stopwatch is going to come online earlier, and I imagine he's going to buy... wait, he's walking back.
He's not buying. He's just walking.
Huh?
I'm with you. That's weird, but he's just walking.
So he got an advantage and then decided not to use it.
Who needs an advantage?
Something
to note, that is Nerf Swain's flash for Zachology's heal in this bot side. Meanwhile, Nate Striker just trading with these disintegrates, getting the extra damage off.
It's also Red Panda's flash.
Red Panda's flash and Nerf Swain's flash. So this is double flash down bot lane. So look at Bond the quad to try and make some action happen down bot side with a possible early gank, because Red Panda is going to want to shove. Big pull in by the Never Move, getting some damage on the Nolden Void. But Zachology just poking away with these Starfalls.
The thing with Get Off My Doink is he's almost certain to hit level 2 and 3 first because he was at the wave.
In lane, oh my god. Tomanito forces out the flash of Nate Striker, knocks him back, but he is going to make it out of tower. Nolden Void is chunking away. There is the Decimating Strash alongside the Soul Furnace for that bit of extra damage onto Moose in Juice, who, as you mentioned, did not go for that reset. Pulled in, Never Move bot side. Zachology is going to be walking away. Another Decimating Snash up top side. And these lanes right now, aside from mid lane, actually, a lot of lanes going in the advantage of Orbit Gaming right now, except for top side, but Nolden Void again pulled in by Nerf Swain. I swear, Nerf Swain is not missing a Never Move.
Oh, his name is Nerf Swain for a reason, and it's because when he's on it, it needs to get nerfed. He needs to land everything, but you know what else needs to land? Red Panda's auto attack onto the cannon.
And another pull! Zachology flashes away, is ignited, going to try and walk it out. Nolden Void, though, going for these autos, trading back. The heal comes in, though, flashes away, but burns down to Swain's ignite, and he will fall. Red Panda gets pulled in again, and that is not going to be fair, as Nerf Swain gets another pull off the pull in off the Never Move. 2 kills going down to him bot side. And what was a great start for Orbit Gaming has just gone the way of Nerf Swain.
Also worth mentioning, Bond the Quad almost died to an invade in his jungle just now, but it's given Moose and Juice some time to get his XP back in the lane and get a little bit ahead of Get Off My Doink.
Get Off My Doink, just trading, using this Soul Furnace to get the extra damage out. Nate Striker doing his best to trade in this mid lane. Decent CS advantage. Has been making good use of the Electrocute procs alongside the guaranteed stuns.
And keep in mind, all this has occurred before the first dragon is spawned. And you know what dragon it is?
It's a Cloud Dragon.
And you know what Cloud Dragons give?
Your hope of a Cloud Soul is unfortunately dead in the water.
No, but the movement speed comes in real early, and to me...
Gotta go fast!
To me, that makes his first dragon really worth fighting for.
It really does. Something to note, Nerf Swain already on the Lost Chapter.
Oh my god, wow. Wait a minute, he is already on Lost Chapter. He's having the same performance this game as Tomanito had last game.
He's taking the ball at the moment, says, I got my namesake champion, I'm gonna perform.
And here's the thing, Red Panda, not too comfortable on champions that aren't mages, to my understanding. But, I mean, when you have Nerf Swain playing pseudo APC, does that really matter?
I mean, I'm just saying, I saw Carrier play Caitlyn support, so farming Swain, support Caitlyn, I think it could work.
And the other thing is, you can just pull the enemies into a Caitlyn trap and just get free headshot damage like that.
Tomanito is looking to go in. There is the Spark Surge over. Zachology drops the Equinox to disengage And that is Ghost. Actually, no, that wasn't Ghost. That was just the devastating charge pop to try and get a bit of damage out there. But good peel back by the side of Orbit Gaming. Pulled in, though, and there's the instant cleanse forced out.
And on the top side, we had Bond the Quad also botch a gank, which means 2 ganks that both junglers waited a long time to hit. Didn't work out, and they both got nothing for it from the other jungler. They just, and even gank trade when it comes to tempo, and they're back to clearing their jungler, but like this game has not seen a lot of jungle impact yet.
It has not, except for that early game where we saw Bond the Quad flash to get the Bramble Smash back to sheer first blood. Nothing's really come out of this, right? And Nerf Swain just doing work with these never moves, locking people down, getting the damage out. He's the real carry of this lane. Yes, Red Panda's farming, but we know who the threat is.
Oh, when we're looking at CS gaps, there's a big gap top and a big gap mid, as Nate Striker is already taking the advantage down there. But up top, we see Get Off My Doink with quite a sizable CS advantage.
Another never move pulls into the vision of the Empire, but look who's coming down bot. It is on the Quad. It is Matt Striker. He does have Prime running in. There goes the Cannon Barrage. Tibbers is out, and before the Demonic Ascension can pop, they are able to take down Nerf Swain. Red Panda falls as well. That is 2 falling, thanks to a great play off a rotation from Bond the Quad and Nate Striker with the assist of the Cannon Barrage. That's 2 kills bot side going to Nate Striker.
And one of them is a bounty. It's a 2-0 Annie ready to go. Lock and loaded and ready to start carrying this game. And we said Nate Striker versus Tom Minato is the matchup we're kind of looking for here. And right now, Nate Striker is firmly in that driver's seat.
And you said how important this early Clouds Dragon is. And right now, it looks like Orbit Gaming's on track to get this.
It's about to be confirmed. Tom Minato just showing up now, but it may be a little bit too late.
There's the onslaught of shadows over the wall, knocked back. Dragon is still secured by Bond the Quad as they're just trying to disengage. Nolden Void going to fall to Red Panda. The rest of the team trying to get away. The slow off the sapling is enough, as well as the blast cone. There's just going to walk it out.
They trade.
And overall, 1 for a dragon.
Trade dragon for life. I think it's pretty good. You start the dragon stacking. Next dragon is going to be that Inferno dragon that's coming up in 5 minutes. But right now, Herald has spawned. It's on the map, and Gymnastics is in danger.
Gymnastics, as you mentioned, in danger as Bond the Quad is in the area. Throws out a sapling, looking to just zone off to let his mid laner farm away and get that back off. Meanwhile, seems like Tom Minato's helping himself to some of Bond the Quad's jungle.
Yes, he is. He's going to get that blue buff. He's going to get that Gromp, and it's all going to come free of charge. Because honestly, Null and Voided isn't going to do a damn thing.
Speaking of Null and Voided, just getting chunked out under the tower by Red Panda, who's just trying to push in, get some plate damage off, takes 1, though 1 has already fallen to Null and Voided as well. We'll have to see how things play out, as we do see Nate Striker take that back, has the Sork Boots and the Lost Chapter now in inventory.
And Get Off My Doink still looking to try to make an impact on Moose and Juice. He still hasn't done a lot, even though Moose and Juice did got first blood. It gets a little bit harder for Get Off My Doink. But Doink needs to find a way to gain like a sizable advantage in that lane, it would seem.
Nate Striker's looking for the kill there. Drops the Tibbers, gets the Ignite. Sorry, not the Ignite. Gets the Electrocute proc. Forces out the flash of Gymnastics, who otherwise would have burned to the Tibbers Molten Cheer. But Nolden Void going in, getting these autos off, empowered by the Lightning Crash. Red Panda is chunked away, looking to possibly chase under tower. Throws out the Ultra Shock Laser. Nothing going to come of it, though. Going to back away.
And it went from Never Lucky having an advantage in some of the lanes. Now, once again, it's back to Orbit Gaming having a sizable advantage in each lane. And this game it's really neck and neck. 300 gold separate these two teams at the moment, and a dragon, of course. But
all
right
it
now,
takes is 1 Swain Claw, though, and that bot lane completely flips on its head. And look who's bot slide. It is Tom Minato, who is looking to come in, has that onslaught of shadows available. He's looking at this bot lane. If they step up too far, he's going to pull the trigger. Speaking of stepping up, he is now on a ward. There's Nerf Swain. Pulls him out of the Spark Surge over the wall. Nulled and Voided, ripped back to his death by the claw of the demon.
And they've isolated the weak point here. Never Lucky has found it, and it's in the bot lane. Oh my god.
On the quad, though, going in, Bramble smashes him back, but he's in a dangerous spot. With that twisted advance, going to be able to try and disengage the Spear of Dread, keeping Tominato alive. Nerf Swain has popped Demonic Ascension, but decides to run into Gymnastics and accept his death. Probably the person you're okay giving the kill over to.
But just kind of a flawed play overall. You're running in 1v3, and yeah, Nate Striker was going to rotate first, but you know that means Gymnastics going to be right there, and just like that, they go down, and that's their kind of advantage thrown just in the trash for a play that you already knew was going to fail.
Really was. It looked like Bon the Quad thought he had more damage than he did. Yes, Tominato and Red Panda were low, but you're a tank Maokai whose only item is an Aegis. You're not going to kill anybody. You don't have ultimate. You burned it trying to get into pick bot side to help out your bot lane, and you don't have that up. You got no damage.
And a no damage Maokai is a sad Maokai. And yeah, you bring up an interesting point. It appears this game we're going full tank Maokai, which I think is the right play. But one of the things that have made Maokai one of the best junglers there is how much damage you get chunked by throwing saplings. And without Leandres, you don't really have that. And on top of that, he's not starting demonics, which even tank Maokai usually tries to do.
Yeah, the saplings become those mini landmines that are just basically Teemo shrooms all over the map.
It means the clear upon the quad is going to be a lot slower. And last time, one of the biggest gaps we've seen with the CS differential between Tominato and Bon the Quad, and not starting demonics here is going to hurt.
Really will. Also hurts out on that clear a little bit, as the burn does affect those jungle creeps as well. Something else to note. Moose in Juice started out with an early kill, and is now down in CS to get off my doink on this Scion, who's building towards the Hearthsteel.
However, if you look... Oh, wait a minute.
Oh, Bon the Quad, what are you doing there, buddy? Going to be rooted down by that focused resolve, taken down as Tominato picks up the kill with the Rampage. Flash away forced by Moose and Juice as he dodges away by the unstoppable onslaught. Barrels coming out to chunk some damage, but topside just trying to trade with that Trial by Fire passive. But there's the Soul Furnace. Forces out the Ignite, trying to get the autos out. Stopwatch and Wish will save him from the decimating smash. He lives topside.
I'm not going to lie, that stopwatch was kind of nasty.
Absolutely was. Stopwatch and Wish, you needed one, but both works damn well. Bot side though, Nulled and Voided is in the area. Gonna dash in, pop the Lightning Crash, go in, pulled in by Swain, is rooted, but they have the move speed. Unstoppable Onslaught comes in. Nulled and Voided, though, gets healed up by Zachology. Flash away by Nate Striker, who gets the stun off the Incinerate, and they are going to get a nice kill down bot side. That's 2 for nothing going their way, despite the fact that the Herald was dropped.
And you want to know the worst part about that?
And what is
the
that?
The voices in Nerf Swain's head went off again. He just didn't have to pull the Jerry. He really didn't. He pulled the Zeri, and then Tominato's voices said, well, if he's pulling, I'm going in. And just like that, they all died. Listen, Nerf Swain, phenomenal Swain player. Hits all of his abilities. Shows why that champion needs a nerf. But the voices need to stop getting to him.
But you can pull them in and get a stack. Think of all the bonus health.
Oh my god. The bonus health does not matter, though, when Zeri gets a double kill for it, and now is back in this game. That's a champion that should have been dead in the water, not allowed to play, and just like that, they're allowed to play again.
It's not like she just picked up an Immortal Shield Bow or anything. This Zeri's not a problem at all.
I mean...
There's a Hearthsteel proc topside. Moose and Juice just getting smacked down. Gymnastic, though, does now have that Radiant Virtue on the board. Of course, no longer has that ability Haste Zone whenever you pop it. Instead, has the extra healing as well. That is amped to about, I think it's 12% or 15%. I can't remember off the top of my head.
And the first turret is going to fall here, and I mean, no surprise. It's a Caitlyn lane against Zeri. If it didn't fall, I'd be a little bit shocked.
Very much would.
Here across the map, though, Maokai might look for a play in the bot lane here. He's sending out that ultimate, but I don't think it's going to hit nothing, and it just goes wide. Honestly, not the best ultimate I've seen. And I feel like the thing is, we've seen Bond the Quad play exceptionally well the first game. Game 2, he got ganked pretty early, and we've seen the confidence waver, made some good plays. It was later in the game we've seen him really realize how to play the matchup. You hit the Cataclysm on Olaf, and then you dip. But now this game, it feels like he felt in control at the start, but the confidence of Bond the Quad seems to be wavering, and he needs to find it if Orbit Gaming has a chance at winning this game.
He really does, as you mentioned. Those engages from his Nature's Grasp are going to be so key around these objectives, around everything. If they want a chance, he is going to be the engage. He is the tank for that squad.
And he's looking for an engagement here on Scion, but I don't think he's going to find it. Doink having him scouted and is able to walk back, and he's going to take a nice back here. Now, of course, the Inferno Drake was picked up from the side of Neverlucky, and in 1 minute and 30 seconds, Ocean Drake is spawning. The pings are already flying as Neverlucky seems to want to fight this.
They really do. They feel we've gotten some good spikes. We see the fact that that Spear of Sojin is online for Tominato. We see Mythics coming in across the board for the rest of Neverlucky, aside from Nerf Swain, who in all honesty, with the pulse he's been hitting, don't need no damn Mythic. But everybody else on the side as well, picking up their Mythics. This is going to be a really big fight around this dragon. Nate Striker going to be key. Has the Tibbers, has the Ghost. If he doesn't think Bomb the Squad's going to pull the engage, he very well may.
He also
is found out onto Tominato. Bramble smashes away off the Twisted Advance. Pops the Nature's Grasp already. Pulls it early, and that means it's not there for the team fight around Dragon.
And Nate Striker, though, they got the Leanders. They got the Sork-Chews. They're probably the strongest member on the team, if not in the game. And we know Nate Striker likes to make an impact when it comes to these team fights. Meanwhile, GP and Scion in the top side. Scion's got no TP.
The Cannon Barrage is available, though, so even if it is just a 4v4, the Cannon Barrage can make a difference. Meanwhile, Zachology just healing up his team, making sure they stay full. Nate Striker going in, threatening an engage. Pull in, though, saves his AD carry's life, but it may be at his own cost. As the lightning crash comes down, Nate Striker's here, drops the Tibbers on his face, and the Bear's gonna take him down. But here comes Tominato, dashes in with that Spirit of Dread active, autoing around, pops in with those rampages, onslaught of shadows into the backline, takes down Zachology, but he will fall to null and void. The Cannon Barrage is there to force the rest of the team away, but they're looking to chase him down. The Mod Shred inspired shield comes out to disengage, but the fight, 2-for-1, goes over to Orbit Gaming Quasar.
It appears so. Scion electing not to TP here, and that means this fight has been decided. That Ocean Drake going to go to Orbit Gaming Quasar, and I don't think, unless somehow Gymnastics steals it with an Empowered Cube or something, this dragon is...
Very well. It was damn low in the end. Bond locks it down. That is another dragon going over Gaming Quasar. And that's two dragons. One now for himself.
The problem is very strong. Nate is strong. That's very 50 CS over the Caitlyn, making up for that entire turret take, and she might get a turret here.
How did that happen? Your guess is as good as mine. But right now, it looks like Neverlucky peeling off onto that Rift Herald with the rest of Orbit Gaming Quasar just farming away at the moment. GP does have that Navori Quick Blades in inventory now. And despite the fact that he's been shoved in quite a lot, even lost his own tower, he's still up 1,000 gold because of those assists to the 0-0-0. Get off Doink, who's just saying, I split push. I go burr.
Split push go burr?
Split push go burr.
We are seeing shades of match 2, though. The map pressure firmly on the side of Neverlucky at the moment. And the gold advantage still maintaining a little bit on their side because of the towers they have taken.
Herald, though, dropped topside by Get Off My Doink. He's just looking to keep pushing and force this tier 2 tower. But Nate Striker's in the area, forces out that unstoppable onslaught as he runs away, yelling coward as the coward he is.
And now Baron is looking like the next fight on the Rift. We're clearing vision around it on the side of Never Lucky. However, Hecarim's on the bottoms of the match. You know there's not going to be a fight for it, but notice how far Null and Void it is right now.
Null and Void could be in trouble here. And we know Nerf Swain hits these never moves. Oh, Tominato running into Nate Striker. Looks like they're both going to decide to walk away like they didn't see anything.
It's a very dangerous game, Tominato, even going for that chip damage, because Andy's always one ability away from that.
Locks down Gymnastics, is rooted in the middle of that Vision of the Empire. In comes the Onslaught of Shadows, is going to flash away, taken down by Nerf Swain, though he will fall as well. Null and Void looking to try and chase them down. Did pop the Lightning Crash, but a flash away and a net away by Red Panda alongside the Mantra Inspire is going to get them out of danger. Meanwhile, Get Up a Doink just popping away at these towers and getting some extra damage out. And really, Flash in, trying to get the damage off the Trial by Fire, but he will live thanks to that Sulfur in his shield.
Here, on the side of the top, on the island known as Top Lane, Hawaii, America, we see Sion almost dying for the first time, but he's able to live, and this means in the top side, I mean, like, GP scaling, but Get Off My Doink has created so much map pressure. And the question is it finally time for Doink to switch over to a new island and go down to Costa Rica in the bot lane, try to apply some pressure
he's heading topside still.
Okay.
Oh, wait. Looks like he's taking a vacation. You're right. He's had enough of Jamaica. He's heading to Costa Rica.
Wait, Jamaica?
I don't know. You said an island, I said an island.
Hawaii? And now he's going to Costa Rica. Jamaica's the mid lane. Come on, know your islands.
Fair point. So where's Sao Paulo?
Well, Sao Paulo's about to die. It's Barren Island, and Barren Island just got completely raided as Tominato
Quad tried to go in for the steal. Not going to get anything, though. Pulled in thanks to that Never move. That's going to be a Baron instantly taken by the side of Never Lucky. And what was a close game kind of just gets cracked open because of that. But meanwhile, Nerf Swain taking a very dangerous route. In comes Nate Striker, pops the Demonic Ascension, but that Lightning Crash is going to take him down. The autos coming out, chaining through the minions. Bot side, Get Off My Doink, getting these autos out, getting some Heartsteel procs, but Moose in Juice popping these barrels, getting the damage down. Onslaught, Unstoppable Onslaught goes in, sidestepped by Moose in Juice though, pops that Cannon Barrage, but mid lane, there's the engage off the Onslaught of Shadows. Everybody's running for their life though. The Mantra E is not enough as they just disengage. 1-0 at the moment. Moose and Juice getting these autos down again, using the Trial by Fire passive and the reset off his powder kegs.
And then the mid lane, we hit nothing. Absolutely nothing on either side, which means everyone lives. I think that's kind of good for Never Lucky in a way, though, when you're looking at the map being frozen, because Sion is just applying so much pressure. But here is Dragon number 4. It's Ocean Drake. This could put Orbit Gaming on Soul Point, or put Never Lucky
on the quad, pulled in by that Never move into the Spirit of the Empire. Gets locked down, though, and that's instantly Tominato taken down. Nolden Void gets pulled in insta-cleanse, though, running away, managed to get out of the focus resolve. Nate Striker still in the area, drops the Disintegrate, drops the Incinerate, getting this damage down, has the stun primed, follows him, gets the stun, and there's the Tibbers for the lockdown. Nate Striker is doing work for the side of Orbit Gaming Quasar.
I have to ask, why was Nerf Swain chasing the Annie, and why was Annie running for so long?
I don't know. You ask good questions. Why was he running? Why was Annie trying to get away from a Swain he could kill? Why is Red Panda down 50 CS as a Caitlyn?
Find out next time on Dragon Ball Z.
So what you're saying is we got 7 more episodes before we get an answer. Got it.
I mean, realistically, with how long these games are gone, I wouldn't be surprised if the game deciding fight is in 7 minutes time, probably over an Elder Drake.
So we got 1 episode just getting them ready for Dragon. The next facing off each other at Dragon as the first ability is thrown. The second is when somebody finally takes Dragon and somebody dies. So we got at least like 7 or 8 episodes left, maybe 2 story arcs.
But notice, you know, 50-50 booking style. This match is dead even. We're still in a deadlock. 1,000 gold into the side.
Is that you, Vince McMahon? I thought you were gone! Pull in, go wide from Nerf Swain. Tominato looking to chase down Nate Striker. I don't know if you want this. He does have Timbers and the stun primed. Going to walk away, though. Get off my doink, though. Otto's back and forth. The barrel is primed. There's get off my doink, trying to finally run away. Will he finally get his first death of the game? Kill of any sort? He will finally fall. The shutdown off of pure CS and tower damage goes over to Moose in Juice. He finally falls, thanks to Bond the Quad rotating over and assisting.
And yeah, that's going to be the first death on Get Off My Doink. And despite saying GG easy, this game's looking GG hard for him at the moment, as his team's slowly starting to crumble under pressure. There's a lot of pressure being applied mid lane and bot lane. Obviously, bot lane for Never Lucky, and mid lane from the Zeri, as Null and Voided is trying to get that T2 turret 3 minutes away from a potential Ocean Soul. And wait a minute. Are they going to be able to catch Null and Voided, or is she just going to surge hop over every wall?
I got a bad feeling about Null and Voided. I think their warranty is about to become Null and Void, as here comes the cavalry. Flash is over, Spark Surge over, but there is the onslaught of shadows. Tries to pop the lightning crash to his save, but just going to get run down by Tominato. The Wish comes in, nearly trades it back, but luckily the Inspire Shield is there to keep Tominato alive.
Okay. I just gotta call it like it is. We're all thinking about it. First game, extremely well played by Orbit Gaming. Game 2, extremely well played from Never Lucky. But this game 3, there has been a lot of questionable decisions made by both teams. And I think what it really comes down to is nerves at this point. You know, one team can be the first to dethrone Never Lucky, and Never Lucky's fighting for their life right now. They've never had to go the distance to a game 3. It's their first time ever being in this position. And because of it, you're starting to see the pressure. You're really noticing as we see the shades, we see the shadows of things that have happened last time. Every game, we've seen Nate Striker try to carry his team to a victory. He's looking mighty strong right now. Every game, the Soul Dragon has been a massive impactor. Whatever team got Soul has managed to win the game. And right now, that Soul Dragon's coming up in a minute 30. You know these players are nervous. You know they know how much this next Dragon's going to mean. It very well could decide the game. And this 7th episode is about to rise. They're setting up for Baron, and then inevitably that Ocean Dragon could be the primary factor.
I know you said usually the last 2 games were a bit cleaner than this one. I'd say send in the clowns, but we kind of saw them play earlier, and they got absolutely demolished. So, send in the jugglers? But it looks like Baron going to be the ping, as it's spawning right now. And the side of Never Lucky's going to say, you know what? We're going to go for this. We don't care that they're junglers in the area. We trust Tominato with this smite. And it's burned down. There goes the Nature's Grasp. He's by the blast cone, coming over the wall. There goes the smite. Nothing but the Baron's peeled off of, and there's a big team fight win going over to the side of Never Lucky. And that's just going to be an easy team fight win for the side of Never Lucky. And in all honesty, it looks done and dusted here. Flash in, smite. Oh my god, he gets it! Oh, Bond the Quad says, you know what? I may die here, but you're not taking this Baron over my dead body. And it is his dead body that goes down. But the Baron, luckily, goes to Overbit Gaming Quasar. But that means the next Dragon going over to Never Lucky will stop that soul stacking for now.
And it feels like we're going through all the motions. As game 1, we got a Dragon steal. Now game 3, we get a Baron steal.
Can you even call that a steal? The rest of Never Lucky literally just walked away from the Baron when the fight started. And on the quad is basically saying, I'm about to die. Can I get this? And the answer was yes.
And I mean, that's a big thing to get, though. Moose and Juice, by the way, almost level 18. Again, I find these GP plays, you don't notice them until you really look over in 30 minutes of the game. You're like, wait a minute, this guy hasn't died. He's got a 700 gold bounty. He's got Navoris. He's pretty close to full build.
It's the story of the solo laners here for Orbit Gaming Quasar. We see Moose and Juice and Nate Striker absolutely popping off. Nate Striker building towards that Rabadon's, has 7 stacks on the Dark Seal at the moment. Any person he drops Tibbers on is going to explode.
And the funny hat. The funny hat might be brought up for the last time today, as Nate Striker's 300 gold away from the Rabba Dabba Doo.
It really is. That could be the song the rest of Never Lucky is hearing. They may be up all night to get lucky, but if Nate Striker has his way, they're going home with nothing. You lose, sir. Good day.
You lose. Good day, sir. Oh my god, the amount of references that have been here.
It's been a fun day already.
But oh my god.
Right now, it looks like the rest of Never Lucky just going to be trying to push away this mid lane. And there it is. The cap. The hat. It is ready. It is prophesized. Nate Striker is about to take over with his funny-looking hat.
Is Nate Striker about to bust a cap in some fools?
Absolutely. And there he goes in, dropping, instantly popping Tominato, destroying Swain. Nolden Void just ripping through this team fight, knocked back by the Bramble Smash, and Tibbers takes down Red Panda, and that's 3 down in an instant. But meanwhile,
oh my god,
Get Off My Doink says, you know what, you can kill my teammates, I don't care, I'm taking your base. This looks like a pretty good tower, I kind of want it. So he's just going to keep smacking, and smacking, and smacking, and smacking, and who guessed it, smacking, and he says, I don't care that you're here, I want your tower, and now I want your inhibitor.
They only said Bon the Quan, and Doig's like, fine, send in the clowns. I'll be down here, bouncing around in the bot lane. And I mean,
is
it looks like they're trying to get his bot. I mean, it's not Inting with only Maokai.
I'm ignoring you and taking your... Sion's full health!
Is it Inting if they only send Maokai? I think it's Inting that they only send Maokai after him.
He's not dying!
They're still not backing. They're just... Huh?
What is happening?
Why are we just... This is
we have a 3-episode story arc of Bon the Quad versus Get Off My Doink, just about the inhibitor. Got it. And
wait,
now is he just unstoppable onslaught away?
I don't think... Wait, why isn't he trying to kill Bon, though? Just try to kill him.
They're just trying to kill... There's the team, but, congrats, you killed a Sion who took your inhibitor while the rest of you were elsewhere? I think he did his job.
I mean, it's inhib for inhib here. Mid inhib's down. Bot inhib's down.
Inhib for inhib, but after they got 3 kills, that should have been beneficial to them beyond a shadow of a doubt. Instead, everybody just exploded.
Hey, but you want to know something? Look who's full build.
That is a very scary Gangplank.
Gangplank is here. He's got Navori's Prowlers, Mortal Reminder, Collector, Essence River, and his Boots of Lucidity. And
he's gonna one-shot Red Panda, in all honesty. Like, Red Panda's just gonna eat a barrel and be gone. It's gonna be a magic trick.
It's
like,
level
now you
13
see him, now
18.
you don't.
Oh my
Question,
god.
who explodes Red Panda faster? Moose or Nate?
I'm gonna say Nate just for fun, but here's the thing here. Moose and Get Off My Doink are still going to the side lane as the Soul Dragon spawns once again in these next 30 seconds. Are we gonna see Never Lucky able to contest this? Not if Moose and Juice
in comes the engage off the Nature's Grass, trying to get some lockdown. Nobody caught though. Nate Striker though stepping up, has the Tibbers stun primed and ready. He is ready to lock down some fools and pop some of Never Lucky.
He's here. Oh my god, Get Off My Doink here.
So, do you feel lucky, punk? Well, do ya?
Well, we're about to find out. This match, I think it's safe to say, this fight will determine the course of this game as Donk is here.
He's finally joined for the team fight. Catches on. There goes Unstoppable Onslaught in the backline. But in comes Swain as well. Big charge coming through, but there's a barrel popping instantly. That is 2 falling. That is 1 falling as well. Nolden Void ripping through off this lightning prayer and just ripping through. But in comes Gangplank. He falls as well. But look at this. That's the rest. They're all alive. Nate Striker's still here. They're all dead. That's all of Never Lucky falling, except, yeah, that's just it. That's game. That's match. That's your series. Were you lucky? Absolutely not. You miscounted, my friends, as you thought, what is death against the Sicilian? But death
Doink's gone.
He's gone. He says, you know what? I'm out. I called GG easy last game. I ate my words. And you know who made them eat it? It was Orbit Gaming Quasar and Nate Stryker, 7-1-7 on this Annie, alongside a
Wow.
5-1-10 Gangplank. It was the song of solo laners here tonight, as Bruce and Juice and Nate Stryker showed up in a big way to hand Never Lucky their first loss series of Phoenix Esports.
Is that a new rivalry sparking? Is my question.
I think it very well could be.
Never Lucky. Always gonna have to think about this being the blemish, not just on their game record anymore, but now they're convincingly in third place. Spartan Shields
There
are
was
still
there was an
undefeated.
argument they could have said, you know what? Congrats, you beat a game off of us. We didn't have our roster. Tominato was not here. Well, guess what? He was here. He played well, but Nate and Moose absolutely ran over your team. Moose was tired of being the hunted. He became the hunter. He was the pirate. And he
This
made them all walk the plank.
this is absolutely insane. You go into seeing Orbit and Never Lucky, and you're like, okay, well, Never Lucky's at the top of the league. We might get some close games. But you never expect, like, you always hope for the underdog, but you never expect them to pull off an upset. And in this fashion, game one, it could have been a fluke. But game three was a slaughterhouse. It was neck and neck until it wasn't. You look and you see Moose and Juice is scaled, ready to go. And at that point, you realize, get off my doinks eating his words. It's GG easy, maybe last game, but certainly not game three. And I think underestimating your opponent, and when it comes to game three, it just shows that you can never truly underestimate anyone in this league, or at the end of the day, that could be the first step in your downfall. That is some hubris to Never Luckiest. Orbit Gaming finds a big foothold in taking down Never Lucky Gaming. That's huge if you're Orbit Gaming. You're in the middle of the pack and you just took down a top team.
Orbit Gaming now, with that, moves their series record to 3-2, ties them up for fourth place against Clown Gaming Spartans, who earlier we saw lose against Final Bastion. Right now, Final Bastion sitting 8-0, the only undefeated game record left. Spartan Shield 5-0 with a 10-2 record right there with them, but Never Lucky finally fall. Their streak has ended. It is finally broken by the beast, Orbit Gaming Quasar.
That is, I'm just, that is insane. These games, I mean, you've seen some really breakout performances. I think there's definitely a case for Nate Stryker being one of the best mid laners, if not the best mid laner in the whole goddamn league. Oh, every time you see Nate Stryker, if Orbit Gaming Quasar's winning, it is that man right there who is. He's getting the kills. He's consistently getting fed. He is a pick that when you go up against Orbit Gaming, he is the one that you have your eyes on. He's the one you're focusing your bands on. He's the one you need to beat if you want any chance at beating Orbit Gaming Quasar. And Never Lucky's cracks have started to show. You look at Never Lucky.
1 and 21-1.
I mean, I mean, like, maybe. But also, you look at Never Lucky, and I think this game's really telling. You know they're confident. You know they like to fight. And one of the things Orbit Gaming, although we've seen Bon the Quan make some questionable plays for sure, one of the things he was always there to do is take the objective when Never Lucky went in. They were so focused on the fight that you see things like Baron and Dragon slip right by them in matches where they need to be confirming these. And it's... You're starting to notice, if Never Lucky's not ahead, they don't know what to do.
They really don't. It feels like they knew what they had to do when they had that double mage bot lane. When they had almost a crutch of the Seraphine, they had an idea of what to do, how to play those team fights, when they have that big ulti, when they have the healing and shielding coming in. But when they're kind of forced onto this traditional comp, it did not go their way. And once they fall behind, they were just caught off guard and did not know how to come back. Tominato gave it his best, played well, and I'd say out-jungled Bon the Quad in basically every game, but it just wasn't enough for his team, as the solo lanes of Orbit Gaming Quasar were just too much for them to handle.
I mean, the Maokai pick proving why it's one of the strongest in the game, because you can say Tominato on a micro level might have out-jungled Bon the Quad, But at the end of the day, Bon Laquan's the one with 14 assists, 16 KP, and honestly, just some dominant ult. And yeah, sure, it's not hard to click ultimate and walk towards them, right? But it still can win you the whole goddamn game. And honestly, between Striker and Bon Laquan, it just felt so powerful. And of course, with Soraka's wishes coming through, it felt really, really hard for them to play, especially as got later into the game. They picked the other thing is they drafted around Tominato, and Orbit Gaming just said, "Hey, you want to draft around Tominato? I got you. We're gonna draft point and click CC, point and click CC, a little bit more point and click CC. How about a point and click slow and some more point and click CC? Run at us. We dare you."
Absolutely worked out in their favor for the side of Orbit Gaming. And really, despite a great game from Moose and Juice at the end there, you have to give the MVP of the series to Nate. He was
Oh my god,
phenomenal in
yeah.
every game he played. Even in their loss, he was being a difference maker. And he had phenomenal performances in every game. His Syndra in game one was deadly and set them up for the win. And his Annie in game three was just as clutch.
Those series of games that I think absolutely incredible league to watch. The stories were there, and for Phoenix Esports tonight is a night to remember as one of the top 3 teams are strucken off their pedestal, and we only have 2 left. We have the Spartan Shields and we have Final Bastion, the only 2 teams truly left at the top of the standings. And as we finally get past this halfway point of the season, the question is, who will take number 1? Who will be the last team to stay undefeated? Will anyone make it to undefeated in the playoffs? And another question that you have to ask is, should Orbit and Never Lucky meet again? What changes? If they face each other in the playoffs, what will happen? This has been a wild week in PXE.
That is an understatement of the year. As you mentioned, Final Bastion and Spartan Shields are final undefeated teams. If they make it there, if they get to the end of the season, they face off in week 9, the final week of the season. There is a chance, albeit a slight chance, but a chance that we could see 8-0 Spartan Shield against 8-0 Final Bastion. And I, for one, really hope we get to see that.
Oh my god, please sign me up for casting that game. I don't give I don't care what I'm doing. I want to be there. I want to be there just to have
Can
my
we
eyes
sign up in
glued.
advance, please? I'll take it. What's
But
that?
yeah,
It's 3 a.m. I'll be there.
with that, I just want to see, are we doing interviews?
I know it is late, and I know the teams were trying to get a move on, so I am not sure. You ask a very good question. Do we have anybody
We
from
are.
Orbit
I,
Gaming
it
that
it
we
doesn't
want
seem
to?
like we are. I
All right.
don't believe. So that will be it for this stream. We have seen just so much tonight. Orbit Gaming making a case on why coming into the second half of the season they might be dominant, and who knows what happens if they get a run in playoffs. Which honestly, if they performed like they did tonight, there's a very good chance they will, especially with the way Nate Striker's playing. I'd like to see that guy put his foot on the gas pedal and start running through some teams. We've seen some plays that he kind of backed out on. I think once he gets that foot on the gas pedal, he's going to be unstoppable. But with that tonight, we've finally seen someone get knocked down. So thank you all for tuning in on this monumental night on Phoenix Esports. And of course, hopefully we'll see you all soon with our next stream as we head into, what day is it today? It's Sunday. Yeah, so as we head into this next week.
Yeah, absolutely. We had our double header today between the Clowns and Final Bastion, as well as Never Lucky and Orbit Gaming Quasar. 5 games out of the 6. It's been you and me all day, Romeo. It's been an absolute pleasure working with you tonight. Big shout out has to go to Luke and our producer for tonight. Shout out also goes to Snow, who was producing our earlier match. We could not make this happen without them, and we could not make this happen without any of you, the viewers. We do this for you guys. We hope you're having a wonderful time. Everybody, have a great night. We will see you next time here at Phoenix Esports.